Hello and welcome to the podcast of the Card Table, in which we discuss creation, practice, performance, and history with the greatest minds in Magic. Before we begin, I'm incredibly excited to let you know that this episode is now brought to you by MAGICBOX, one of the UK's leading bricks and mortar magic shops, and because of that you can grab yourself 10% off at their website with code PATCT. That's PATCT. More details later on in the episode. Enjoy. Today's guest is a world-renowned magician, creator, and one of the main faces of Murphy's Magic. Originally from Australia, but now based in the UK, he's created gimmicks for some of the biggest names in Magic and has given an abundance of his time and knowledge to the Magic community with his own releases and tutorials. It is, of course, the incredibly friendly and incredibly humble Beau Cremer.
Jeez Louise, thank you so much, man. I thought you were someone else then. That was insane.
I was. This is for the next guest, actually.
This is for next episode. I'm sorry, yeah. We've got that
How
guy.
are you doing, man? You well?
Good, man. Good. How about yourself?
Yeah, very well. Very excited for this. It's been a long time coming. We've had very busy schedules together.
Man.
Getting this arranged has been absolute chaos, but we are here. We're sat down. We've got a little while to talk now, and I am excited to delve into your brain.
Oof.
I'm also slightly scared.
Yeah. Also, if I get too excited, I have a dog, and he's bound to like jump up because I get excited when I do chats.
Dogs are more than welcome on this podcast. That is perfectly. To be fair, if you want to do one and just put the dog in his place,
that's who you were talking about, the world-renowned magician.
Yeah, of course. Consulted on many a show with treats and
he'll just talk about his bone the whole time. It'll be good.
We need an interview with your dog. Just a 5-second clip of just the dog, like
the amount of times that we get that in the comment section of like, who's the dog? Tell us about the dog. I have to like bring him on like the next episode. Yeah. We actually had a shot in like the live stream where people could like type in Rigby cam and it would like shoot to like where Rigby's bed was and you could just watch the dog.
Stream.
We had to turn it off because the whole time no one wanted to listen to Magic. Yep. They just wanted to see a dog in his bed. So, which is fair enough. I back
That's
that.
valid.
Yeah.
That's valid.
That's what we're doing today.
Yeah. If you could talk from off camera, but we'll just have your dog in frame, I think it's going to do well for the numbers.
I could do that for you. I'm also scared to look at him because if I make eye contact, he's like, cue to go.
It is time.
You need me over there?
We're going to jump straight into this. I've realized I've been looking at my other monitor this entire time. Mate. We're going to jump straight into this and we're going to get into your origin story. As far as I'm aware, you have an engineering background, but you moved into Magic a little while ago and you've been in Magic for, I think, nearly 2 decades now, if I'm correct in thinking. Yeah. So how did that come about? Where was your origin story? Is it the same as everybody else's? Was it a Magic set or was it something different?
It goes way back before engineering. I loved Magic as like a kind of a kid, as we all kind of do. And I remember during high school, I loved Magic and film and like editing and stuff. And I got told by my career, I come from a very small town in Australia. Like there's literally like one pub, one like Coles. Like if you know Australia, it's like a shopping, like a Tesco or something. And there's like 9 nursing homes. It's like the oldest.
Where everyone goes to die.
That's literally what I say. I'm like, it's the oldest demographic per capita in all of Australia. You literally go there to die. And I got told Magic and like film and stuff is not a proper career. Get a real job. But my career advisor was like, okay. So my granddad used to be a structural engineer. So I was like, I would be a structural engineer. And I did that for 6 years. And so I went off and got my degree and did all my engineering. And I remember I had 2 monitors at work. I had one where I was doing my engineering and another one which I just played Magic videos. I had tutorials up, I had performances up, and I'd be practicing while I'm waiting for like plans to print out and stuff. And I just couldn't get it out of my head. And I remember one day just saying to my boss, look, I'm going to quit engineering. I've got no passion in it. And I'm going to do Magic. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, good luck with that, man. Like, have a good time. And that's all I've been doing ever since. I did bartending for a little bit, just to like when I moved down to Melbourne to practice my Magic. But then that's kind of like the origin story of like me with Magic, but me getting into creating. Weirdly enough, I hate groups and I hate people watching me. I'm comfortable with a one-eye lens.
As a magician.
Yeah. Oh, it gave like crazy anxiety. I actually do hate performing. Yeah, I love Magic to death, but performing like scares me to know. Like, as soon as I get like 2 or 3 more people, I'm just like, and it's not for the lack of trying. It's more, also I talk quick, so I'm trying to like slow it down. I get very anxious performing for a lot of people, and I have to like kind of go, well, I don't want to perform, and it's not for like me not wanting to be a practice magician and putting in the work to get comfortable with audiences. It never got any more easier. And the creating bit was just me back when this is like when you used to have like Daniel Garcia and all the names in Magic. I thought that's all people, like they were the guys that were born to like just create, and creating wasn't a thing. And I remember the first trick I created was for a guy, Christopher Wayne. He was on Toasted TV. It was like Cheese TV, this kids TV show in Australia. And he was doing emails, and I was like, I wanted to have the slide to unlock on a phone. I was like, I wonder if you could slide to unlock and throw a padlock out. And I came up with a routine, and he was like, that's cool. Whose is that? I was like, I don't know. I just made it. And he's like, can I do that on TV tomorrow? And then I was like, sure. And then he did it on TV. And then all these magicians were like, where's that from? Who made that? He's like, oh, that's my creation. And then he came to me and was like, actually, Beau, these people want to talk to you. And then I started doing like the rounds of like magicians in Australia. Then like, can you build this for me? Can you build this for me? And then that's how I got into creating. I thought, this is a world that people can do. And I felt so much more at ease. I can like talk to a camera lens. I don't have people. And I can be comfortable in magic. That's kind of my origin story.
I can relate to that massively because I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like this, I don't mind talking to a camera or even talking to people in person on a small basis. Perfectly fine. The second there's a big group, I'm immediately like, I don't want this spotlight, and I just like drop into the background. I'm like, yeah, this is okay.
Which is kind of like I kind of brings me down to like Murphy's. All my videos, I'm like, "G'day, champion. How you doing? Welcome back to Murphy's Magic." And people come up to me at conventions, like, "Hey, champion!" I'm like, "Whoa!"
Leave me alone.
I'm like happy to talk to them, but it's also being so like, I'm a nerd. I'm a magician, so like I don't like people scare me. So
yeah, we're not made for the limelight.
yeah. I'm happy. Yeah. Oh man, it's getting me palms sweaty thinking about it. It's good.
We're going to jump into a sort of quickfire section. As I mentioned before we started recording, this is never ever quickfire, but we're going to have a look at some of your likes and dislikes within the Magic community. The first one being, what is your favorite sleight? Obviously, we mentioned before this, most people tend to go for card sleight. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could be coins, could be various other different things. Do you have a particular favorite sleight, or do you have otherwise?
Whoa, see, this is the thing. I guess this is another reason I got into gimmick building, because I'm trying to keep this conversation to less than 4 hours. I love sleights. Like I'm obsessed. Like I watch people like Jeremy Griffith perform or Shin Lim perform, and my mind is just destroyed. And for years, not for the lack of trying, I've tried for years, like to practice sleights. And my hands just don't work. I'm the old school magician of watching VHS tapes and DVDs, and I'm right-handed. But everything that I perform is with my left hand. But then when I'm holding a deck, I'll do a left-handed spread. So for people that are left-handed, know that when they spread that and looking at the deck so that you can't see. There are times when I hold up the deck to camera and no one can see the pips. Yeah, I have to spread the other way, and it looks so bad. And like you said, like 2 decades I've been trying to do magic, and I still can't get the basics down. Like I sat down with Alex Pendrea in Melbourne. Oh, well, I've known him for years, but I remember one time in Melbourne, he's like, I've been watching you do sleights and you're horrendous. Let's have a weekend where we just practice. And at the end, I think we were halfway through the first day, and he said, I'm just going to stop.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. He's like, you do things back to front. You're constantly changing hands. Like my hands just don't work the way I want them to. So that's the reason that I got into building gimmicks, because I love magic and I can't do those sleights, and I need something that's going to help me work smarter, not harder, I guess. I would love, I've been putting in there. I love the top shot. I think we mentioned that earlier. I love the top shot, and it's a thing that I've been trying to do for donkey's years. And I remember one time, my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, she went away to work. And I was like, today I'm learning the top shot. I've canceled everything. That's what I'm doing. For the whole day, I'm like, trying to do the top shot.
Yeah.
I came back, my pinky was bruised. I had like blisters on the end trying to get it. And it was like good 8 or 9 hours. I'm not even kidding, just nonstop. And she gets home and goes, how's it going? Did you get it down? I can't do it. I can't do it. She's like, okay, what are you trying to do? And I was like, I do this, put your pinky here. And within 30 seconds, she did a top shot. She's like this. I was like, okay, beginner's luck. And she goes, I was like, so
we're done.
Yeah, we're done. We're getting divorced now. We weren't married at the time, but that's how we're not getting married. It's just the thing that I can't. Sleights, I've got so many sleights that I would love to do, but I can't. Like, I've tried for years. I've put in the effort. I've got people to help me, Pandrea to kind of help me, and they've kind of went, "You're a lost cause. Yeah, you're done. Just build gimmicks, buddy boy." So
they're just gonna put on the social media post for this. None.
Yeah,
hates them.
Yeah, Beau hates magic. But don't crop that.
Magic.
Don't crop that.
That's the early release clip for this entire thing.
Oh man, just getting warm in here, isn't it?
We're both gonna get cancelled by the end of this. It'll be fine.
There you go.
Do you have a particular favorite plot within Magic? This doesn't necessarily have to be something that you perform. It could be something that you enjoy watching. But as a concept, do you have a particular favorite plot?
I love all the plots I kind of love. The one that I keep coming back to in creating would definitely have to be like prediction methods. Like most of the tricks I've created come through predictions. And that's the kind of, weirdly enough, I'm not like a mentalism type of guy, but one of the tricks, low key, I just love the master prediction. Like that's one of my favorite mentalism effects. How could you possibly have all these people put in information and have that as a prediction? That's just one of my favorite things in the world. And that's why I had to like create a trick around that for like close up, but like restoration effects, like transformation effects, like anything. Oh man, there's so many plots. This would be a 4-hour conversation. Like there's so many plots that I look at and watch people perform that just gets me so inspired to do other things like penetration. There's a penetration effect that I would love to do, and I'll never be able to do it. I've tried so many different gimmicks. Everyone does like penetration through cards, and I wanted to do something organic. I want to have a penetration through a phone, and I know there's like you got the metal phone. We're not going to go into the methods behind it, but you put an object through a metal phone. And I wanted to have like your actual phone. Like I wanted to come up with your actual phone and put an object through it, and then pops out the back, and you can show it's your legitimate phone. And the closest one I've seen was Tom Elderfield. He put a phone through a phone. It's on his like Instagram from like 1800 years ago, and it puts a phone through a phone. And it goes through the screen. It just looks so good. And he goes, "That's not practical at all. It's the worst thing you could possibly do for anyone, and it's good for socials." But every time I try and create a method, it just doesn't come close to like what Tom did. If that's an effect or a plot that I want to get down, is that. Yeah. I love the penetration effect. And
I think the parameters, especially when you're working with a technology front, from a method perspective, without going into methods, most of the methods for penetration effect would not work in this case because of it breaking things.
So, exactly.
Yeah, restrictions on that front, I can imagine makes that an absolute nightmare to figure out.
Exactly. There's so many different. Like I had a fake lock screen that kind of like pulled up into your real lock screen, but it would have like there's these like lenses. Like I was looking at like screens that you could have like roll out or flatten out, and it'd have like a projection underneath, and what would happen is like a trapdoor. I'm like, I'm trying to build these insane gimmicks and have like literally like where the app is. The whole idea is that app would be kind of like the same way that the card method would work.
Yeah.
But the app would be that case. But then I'm like, I also want to be able to show off the screen and have that reflectiveness to it, which is glass. How am I going to do that? And it's like, oh man, it's one of those things of like, will I ever achieve it? Probably not.
Yeah, it's balancing those different parameters, isn't it? It's like that slider thing where it's like cheap good, practical.
Yes.
And you slide one across and the others move.
Yeah, they never match up.
Yeah, it's that exact same thing. It's just figuring out what actually works. And again, like magicians want the most perfect thing every time, and it's just never going to happen with something like that.
That's the amount of times that comes across like my desk with like Murphy's, but then even like Tom's thing, like I said, Tom's like, that's not practical. It's good for camera. And it's, I guess it comes down to you as a magician, finding that method or that trick that works best for your genre and style of magic. Yeah. There's so many times when people are like, oh, I'm never going to perform that stage trick on my social media. I'm like, well, you're a close-up magician. You do quick visual stuff. It's never going to, it's weird. I'm talking about this like, slight tangent. Magicians, when we talk about stuff, is like, you don't have like all the genres of magic are compiled into one group. We all talk and show each other stuff. You think about musicians, which magicians get constantly mistaken for. Yeah. Well, what instrument do you play? You never see like heavy metal guitarists hanging out with like classical violinists in the same chat going, oh yeah, well your violin's terrible. Like, yeah, but it's a weird genre of like we all like kind of
have an opinion on things that we shouldn't have opinions on.
Yeah. Just find what works for you. As a magician, you should find what works for you as a performer and what's going to work for your style and for your spectators. And just
that's the main thing. What's going to work for your spectators? Again, this is a discussion that I've had many a time, and I assume it's the same for you, but a lot of magicians are performing for themselves and or for other magicians and not necessarily like spectator first.
Yeah.
So when they look at new effects that are coming in, they're like, that's not practical because you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't hand it out to the spectator, you can't do this. It's just like, yeah, but if you put 5 more minutes of thought into that, yes, you can then hand it out, or yes, you can then perform it surrounded, or you can do this, or you can use it for another application. If it's not made for that application, stop trying to force the square through the circle.
Yeah.
Like if it's a social media trick, stop trying to perform it 360 on stage to a live TV camera. Like,
yeah. It's that whole hang on, I have to switch this gimmick out. Like this isn't 100% examinable. I think it comes down to like you see magicians that are confident and know how to handle their audience and that can pull that off. Again, coming down to that, that's why I love confabulation routines. I could never perform a stage confabulation routine. I'm not a stage magician.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I had to take a step back. I'm like, how am I going to make this work for me? So I created a close-up confabulation routine. I think that comes down to, as magicians, we kind of get something from the box and we kind of go, okay, I need to perform this straight from the box and do the exact same script. Like if you watch any of my tutorials, I never give you my script. I never want to have someone do the same script. I want people to like
beat for beat, word for word.
Yeah, magicians, we're creative. We're performers. We're in the arts industry, right? So we should like have our own selves put into that trick. So you get magicians that take it straight out of the box and go, that's exactly how I'm going to perform. I'm like, oh, no. Change it. Adapt it to you.
Magicians are lazy, man.
Mate, don't get me started. This is where I'm going to get cancelled. Hey, man. The one 360 degrees surrounded needs to be 100% examinable. There has to be no sleight of hand. There has to be no practice. I'm performing within 5 minutes. I need a script for me for everything.
It's one thing that really irks me. So I'm just gonna dive in here, but when you see on like the Magic Facebook group somebody being like, I've got this gig tomorrow, I need a trick for this specific purpose, and you're like, you do not have enough time to one, get that product, practice it, perform it, get the scripting, the nuances, the road time that it needs to do that any justice at all.
Yeah.
What are you playing at?
Yeah.
Infuriates me, man.
And then they come back and like, oh, I flashed the heck out of that gimmick, and I was so
well.
Yeah, well, probably want to practice. What? I need to practice.
We're going to get on the magic industry guys soon.
Yeah,
and I feel like that section
that's going to be a conversation we're going
to have. Do you have a particular favorite book? This is going to be obviously magic related. I don't know whether you're a massive reader on books. I know some people prefer like video tutorials and things like that. But if you had to select a favorite book, whether it's something you come back to all the time or something that you have a lot of material from, is there anything that stands out?
Well, I'm quite dyslexic. I can't get through books a lot. So my favorite book, I'm gonna go get it, and it's probably gonna be like, oh really? It is a magic book, but it's to this day, it's one of my favorite books. I'll roll away for 2 seconds.
That's right.
I don't know if you can see what it is from here, but it's Wayne Houchin's Sinful.
Oh, nice.
Have you seen it?
I don't think I've ever read it, but
it's literally in comic book form, right? So the whole trick and the whole premise and the whole tutorial is in comic book form. Like there are like writings, I'm not going to show it because it's going to be exposing, but there are like, yes, which we don't do, but there are like writings in it, but everything else is kind of, you know, the comic book of like how the trick plays out, which was really good for me. Like, you get the comic, you get the books that have the images. Like what I'm trying to read through is Mint, like the volume 1 at the moment. Yes. Yep. So I'm trying to work through that. But again, reading and the images help. But with Houchin's, it's in that kind of, you can probably tell with everything in my background. I love comic books. I love that kind of everything. So like Pokemon, like everything like that kind of genre, I just love. And that's what's helped me so much. And to this day, Sinful's still one of my favorite tricks to perform. As like a go-to if I'm out anywhere and I see a coin and a can, I'm like, Sinful, baby. But it's also one of my favorite books just because it was helped me in such a way that I'd love to read. I'm so bad at reading, and I just, again, I can't get through words. Like you've probably seen the memes of like how fast my husband reads compared to me, like women and men reading. I'm twice as long just reading that meme. Like it's so bad. So that's probably my favorite book, but then I'm working through the Mint books. But that's like card stuff. Again, I'm never going to be performing, but I love reading about the sleights and how all the technicalities are done.
Yeah.
But that's
those little technicalities and nuances that, again, if you're not going to take something from a book that you're going to perform, or even from tricks and videos, something that we've mentioned a lot of magicians have that drawer of shit that they're never going to do. But had they have gone through that drawer and looked at the little nuances and the little tidbits that they can take from those tricks that they're never going to perform and applied them to the stuff that they are performing, it can make a world of difference.
100%. Those tricks that you just wanted to buy to know the method of, adapt that to something else that you do want to perform.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason that you wanted to learn that method, right? You were fooled by it. Even if you don't think that's practical, it's not going to work for your style. Adapt it into another effect that you're working into, and you're gonna grow as a performer. You're gonna grow as a magician, and it's just gonna take your performance to the next level. And that's, mate, I can't even re-say what you just said because it was.
It also gives you a basis to start on as well. Like you've obviously bought that trick because you like it, or you were fooled by it, or you like the style of it. So if it then isn't practical for you for whatever reason, or isn't your style, take that basis, that framework that somebody's already started. That's months of R&D and work and thinking that you've just bypassed. Yeah. And you can take that and add your own stuff to it, and you're going to be night and day ahead of everything else because you have this work to base it on.
Mate, that's I guess that's one of the great things about all these magicians in the same environment is we have that ability to share our ideas. Again, you're not going to have a heavy metal guitarist hanging out with a jazz violinist and saying, tell me about how you did that because I want to incorporate that into my guitar skills.
Yeah.
You're going to have, with magicians, we have that ability to push on our information. So if someone out there is working on an object through mobile phone and goes, actually, Beau, I might have a method for you, hit me up, because that's what I love about the industry we live in, is we share ideas. We're more than happy to do that. So if there is an effect that you're not happy with, take it, adapt it to your own. There's no real brand new magic being created these days. Everything is an adaptation of something else. Yeah. It's if you obviously don't copy the trick word for word, again, taking it straight out of the box. But if there was something, the reason these creations are happening is because that magician has pulled it out of that box and went, that method doesn't work for me. I'm going to grow on that and make it work for me, because there's probably magicians out there that are like me that can't do sleight of hand or can't do this, can't do that, and adapt the method to work for them. And then they push on, which is evolving. It's not, I guess, evolving the trick, but it's evolving the premise, the plot, the idea into ways that other magicians can enjoy and get to performing it. So take that magic out of your drawer and bring it into new light and think of ways you can do it, which is ideas I'm constantly going through my magic drawers, and even like tricks that I do, take them away from, like I do double cross, but I don't like doing it with the thing on the hand.
Yeah.
I do it at Starbucks, where I go have a spectator think of a drink, and then the drink is now marked on the cup. So taking it from the premise that you think that everyone's going to be doing and adapting it to something different, then people go, oh, this is me and my brother, he does magic because of what I do. But me and him would go to a bar and we'd be like, okay, today we're going to do this exact same trick. We're not going to change.
Different.
We're going to keep performing it until the spectators catch on. Hang on, this is the same trick you've been showing us for the last hour. But we're just changing the idea and the premise. Like we were doing keycard stuff, right?
Yeah.
But there's so many different ways you can do keycard stuff that would seem like a brand new trick every single time to your spectators.
I hope you were using the same key card as well. The whole way. Why does that Ace of Spades keep coming up?
This isn't your card though, is it? Yeah, it's this one.
That's a really cool idea. Just to take a premise or a plot, for example, and then just running with it in as many different directions as you can.
Yeah,
is such a cool method for creation, because as you say, like, it doesn't have to be this brand new crazy thing that no one's ever thought of before. Like a lot of releases nowadays are just tiny little adaptations that have taken something that was already great and just taken it to a whole new level. It's just because that person's gone, oh, maybe I could do it this way.
Yeah.
And that's changed everything. And if you can take that concept and do that yourself with the stuff that you're already doing, or the stuff that you're already working on, then what's to stop you from putting out crazy releases? Or alternatively, keeping the really good stuff for yourself because you've come up with some really crazy stuff.
Let me just like, teach me. You're like, no, baby, that's for me.
Fine.
But also, if you're going to release it, don't say there's so many times people are like, I created this, and you're like, well,
did you though? Because that's 8 different nuances and 4 different techniques from a variety of sources.
This is from the original Burning the Witches book from the 1800s. So
you did not create it. People literally died for that method.
But no, I added in a Tic Tac container now. So there you go.
That old chestnut. Yeah, but it's with a Sharpie now.
Yeah.
It's not just a normal biro. It's with a Sharpie. Okay, great. Brand new. Again, we're slipping into Magic Industry gripes fun. We'll get there in a second. Don't worry.
We're going to get there and have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, no, already discussed. Do you have a particular favorite performance that you've watched, whether it be in person, whether it be a theatrical thing, TV, film? Is there a particular favorite performance that stands out?
There's so many, and
good luck bringing it down to one.
Yeah, there you go, baby. I think that's one of the things I love is being in the career I am in. That so many people show me so much magic, and there's so much good magic and incredible magic out there. The one thing that the reason I'm thinking about, I'm definitely going to say it, is Jason Mayer, street magician dude. His cups and balls routine. Again, classics. I'm never going to be performing the classics, but watching him every time, I'm so sorry for everyone that sees that come up on Murphy's socials, because every time I see it, Reshad, it's such a beautiful routine, and the way he handles the audience, the way his misdirection, the way his patter, his slides, the way all of his loads, everything is just, it's honestly, it's mesmerizing to me. Some people are watching it, oh, really? But to me, I could watch that routine, and I do watch it a lot, and I keep resharing it a lot just because it is such a gorgeous. If you haven't seen it, look up Street Magician Dude on social media.
I'll have it linked in the show notes, because it is, as you say, an absolute masterclass in performance. That guy is a born performer. As you say, every interaction, every little nuance, every single beat is thought through so methodically. And again, even the ad-lib stuff with spectators comes to him so quick that it almost feels scripted.
Yeah. And that works
again, he's just put in the hours, the repetition, like everything to get to that point. It's the same with the incredible ventriloquist Max Fulham.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen him perform, my goodness, that guy, the laughs per minute in that show was just, I was crying from start to finish, because every single beat, everything, the heckles, the stuff that he was interacting with was just immediately like rectified and sorted, and it was just a masterclass. And it's the same with watching Jason.
Yeah,
the guy's a demon.
he that's one of those things that, again, this isn't a trick that you can perform surrounded, but he does. He makes it work. He knows how to make it work to his audience, and it just kills. Like, it's just, one of those routines that I always love watching. Big fanboy. If I ever see him, I'll give him a big kiss, because it's just so good.
Yeah. Seeing him work, and like he was at the Edinburgh Fringe this year. He has been a few other years. So obviously, I'm walking down the street and I'm like, oh, there's this massive crowd forming. Like, what's this? And then I'm like, it's Jason. That makes sense. Everybody's just like, complete silence, no heckles, no noise. Everybody's stopped, stood still, frozen in time, giggling like crazy, because the guy's just an absolute genius.
It's Jason. And then, having said that, were you saying about everyone's giggling, and I love a one-on-one, and it's just one magician. As soon as you know me, you're like 100%. Every time I sit down with him, it is just one of the biggest and best people that you can. Tobias Dostal. I'm just going to say his name instead of like swirling around. Every time you sit down with him and he just reaches into his pockets, I'm like,
something crazy is going to happen.
He does, like, I feel like the worst person, because I'm just like, because he pulls things out of his pockets, and just a one-on-one with him, he makes it feel so personal, and just the experience you experience with him, it's not this big performance. It feels so not organic, because he's pulling out weird stuff out of his pockets.
Yeah,
it feels so natural and like disarming. Like, I can let my guard down with him and just have a good time.
Yeah,
like if you ever get a chance, sit down with Tobias Dostal and just let him pull things out of his pockets for you, because it's a good time.
The guy's a crazy genius. Like, the stuff he's coming, like Silhouette, is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah,
not something I could ever pull off to the level that Tobias does. I mean, to be fair, most of Tobias stuff's sensational for him, but in my hands, I'm just like, that is never happening.
But again, that's practice, because he's probably spent 9 years. There's things that, when I chat to him, and like, he showed me something at Blackpool, I think he's going to release it, and I kind of do I talk about it or do I not? But he showed me this thing, and I know he's still evolving it, and that was at Blackpool last year, and he's been working on it for years. So it's one of those things. Again, he's been practicing and developing it for years, thinking of all these little nuances. So when you get it in your hands, you're like, oh, that makes sense, because there's
of course
9 years of him going, well, that's not going to work.
Thinking behind it. If I remember it correctly, Tobias has his own like warehouse and workshop, doesn't he? Where he just goes in day out, and he's working through these ideas, and you can tell that was, as you say, when a product comes out, it is to the T, like everything's been thought of.
Yeah.
And it's so perfectly engineered and so perfectly executed. The methods are super like practical and great to do, providing you put in the effort, which again comes back to lazy magicians. But yeah, the guy's a absolute freak of nature. The way his creative process in his mind works, I would also love and hate to be in his mind for a day, because the amount of information that would be going through there, like, I've come out of like, I'm the smartest man alive. Yeah. But also like, whoa, what a whirlwind of a day. Because so overwhelming. So overwhelming. Like, I remember chatting to him about liquefy. And I was chatting to him about the whole idea of like the drooping and the goop and stuff. He was like, oh yeah, that happened because I left a container open and it leaked out onto the table. And I was like, that looks cool. How can I make that a magic trick? Again, most magicians are like, oh, I've made a mess. But he's like, that looks cool. How can I make that something? And he just played around with the goop. He said, I spent weeks making different goop, and how can I make it into objects? And that was like, and that's, I think, such a Tobias thing. It's such a weird, he's like, and I think that led into him like creating like 3 or 4 different effects, like different releases from just one happy accident, So it's crazy, man. It just goes to show as well that there's so much inspiration and influence around you that you can take from literally everything. It's just whether you have your eyes open to that.
Yep.
I know when we spoke to Jeremy Griffiths, again, he's come up many a time on this, he was talking about using magic as a lens
Mm-hmm.
to seeing things through magic as opposed to seeing things as magic, and being able to look at things and take inspiration from it so that you can put it into magic, whether it be film, music, TV, nature. Like, there's so many different things that you can pull concepts from that you would just never think of if you were just sat there like, how can I make that magic?
Yeah.
As opposed to how can that become magical? Like, yeah.
The Jeff Kaler does that. He creates magical moments, and he uses magic as kind of like sometimes in some premises, he does it where he uses it to like convey a moment, but then other times he just creates magical moments. Again, takes that premise, but completely drops the trick out of it.
Yeah.
And creates that same moment where people walk away and they feel like, when you watch a good magic trick and it just enlightens you, that same premise that he adds to the things that he does. And that's what I love too, like watching that aspect of it. Again, we're performers, we're there to...
I'd much rather a magic trick make me feel something than fool me.
Yeah.
Like, I'd much rather be like, wow, I feel inspired, or wow, I feel like overwhelmed. Like, I'd love to feel sad watching a magic trick.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, in and of itself was a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
There's what, 5 tricks in that entire thing?
Yeah.
And I was bawling my eyes out at multiple occasions watching that. It's just pure art and beauty, and I'd love to see more of that.
Exactly. And I think I see that there's been multiple times where the special trick that I have, I work at Murphy, so I get to see a lot of magic. And I go through the back end, and there's so many times I see a trick, and it might have been shot on a potato, like the camera gear is like not good, but the idea itself is so good that I'm like, I love this premise. I love this idea. I love the routining. And I'll put it up, and people go, oh, this is put up better quality stuff. Do this. And I'm like, look at the routine. Look at what it is. And like, oh yeah, it's great. I'm like, that's what you should be looking at, not
the fact that it's not filmed in a studio, full 4K camera, lighting rigs. Like, that doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
It's the concept that's...
Yeah, the idea behind the effect is what I love. The fact that, again, we're probably going to go down a rabbit hole here, but just the idea of an effect that it can make you feel rather than the effect itself. I want to use that as like a gateway to get in, get to people. I think that's why I get into creating, because I can't do that as a performer.
Yeah,
I'm very bad at performing and conveying that. So many times when I'll create a trick, when if I'm on TV and stuff, I'll give it to a magician. I'm like, I can't perform this. This is how it's meant to look.
Yeah,
and this is how I want it done. And they're like, okay, great. And they go off and do it. And they do it to the spectator. And at the end of it, they're like, that's what I get a kick out of. Just watching that be conveyed to a spectator and have that spectator feel that.
And I think that's the one thing that quite a lot of magicians are missing out on, is spectator first.
Yeah.
That should be your primary focus. The primary focus shouldn't be which method's going to work the best, which gimmick's going to work best for this. It's how is the spectator going to react? How is the spectator going to think? How are they then going to convey what they've just saw to their friends? Is it going to leave an everlasting memory? Are they going to leave this conversation a changed person? Like, magic has the potential to do that in the correct scenario. So why would you want to just do something that's going to fool the pants off them and they go, oh, that was cool, that was good sleight of hand, when you could do something that really helps elevate that person or change that person or make them feel an emotion that they didn't think they could ever feel with what you're doing? Like, why you would not want to do that is just baffling.
There's so many magicians that I talk to that go back to the basics. That literally, there's the reason why the ambitious card is like the most popular trick that laymen want to see, because it's impossible. It's so simple to do, but it's that lasting impression. They're like, this is the impossible that's happening. And you can do crazy sleight of hand. And don't get me wrong, I love all that as well. But as magicians, we constantly try to fool other magicians, and we're not in that business, right? We're there to, like you said, make the spectator feel something, give something back to the spectator. And that's what, I guess, why, I go back to the basics as well. I do all my sleights. If I'm going to perform, it's for like 1 or 2 people, and it's a moment that I want to create with them. Whether it's like depending on, I guess, the person and the scenario, whether it's like a shock moment or a heartfelt moment, or those moments where they're going to walk away and, like you said, talk to someone about it and show them later. There's moments where I had a guy probably a month ago. I haven't spoken to him. I saw him in Canada. I met him at a bar in Canada probably 8-9 years ago when I was visiting a friend, and he messaged me on Instagram a couple months ago, and he's like, dude, I still have that card in my wallet that you did this trick for me. He goes, I look at it all the time. He's like, it's destroyed now, but that piece of, like, how are you doing? And I was like, good, man. Like, how are you? It's been years. It's that moment that connected with him.
Yeah.
That he just constantly is reminded of this moment. It was an Ash routine on a playing card where it was a thought of person.
Nice. Yeah.
So it was this moment for him that he just constantly goes, it's not a magical moment for him. That him looking at that now, it's the memory of that experience he had at that time. And that's the moment that I think we forget when we perform.
100%. And as you said there, I think we get so lost in that sort of bias of knowing the methods, always wanting to constantly make things more deceptive or easier to perform or better to do in certain scenarios. But I think, for example, Ben Earl is a perfect example of one of the most gifted sleight of hand people in the UK, if not the world. Yet he takes some of the most simple moves and simple concepts and adds a beautiful story to it. And it becomes this incredible thing that, looking at it from a magic perspective, you go, it's all right. Yeah. But looking at it from a performative perspective, you go, fuck, that is phenomenal. And the spectators see it that way as well. Exactly.
There's the beauty of it being so simple that you can put a performance and a routine behind it where you don't have to concentrate on these crazy slides and having them be so like invisible. You can focus on that moment and that experience that you couldn't, well, like you could do if you did the slides and stuff. Like I've seen magicians like Ben Earl do it and Shin do it. And like you see these people that can do that. But if you're, I guess, like myself, or probably 95% of the magician population, you take it back, simplify it. And I guess that, again, you're going to put it online. You're going to have magicians going, oh, you just did a double lift. Again, look at
the spectator doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Like, the spectator's just witnessed an absolute miracle in their eyes, regardless of how simple.
Yeah. What's that classic meme of like the guy and the girl, and he's showing her a card trick, and behind it's all these. Oh no, it's like the girl. It's like double lift, Pharaoh shuffle. It's like a list of all these different moves, and then the girl's like card trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's literally like that's all of this. You could do a million different slides, and to the spectator, it's just you're doing a card trick. Yeah. Again, it's like me and my brother. It's still a card trick, but we're doing the 1,000 different ways you can perform it.
Things. Yeah.
So
we're not even into this, and already the concepts and ideas that are being thrown about here are monumental. We're going to move super quickly on to influences and the magic industry gripe, and then we'll ask a few more in-depth questions. But in-depth already.
The quick fire ones, not really.
Real quick.
Influences, everyone. There you go. Let's move on. No, I get.
If you had to narrow this down to like 5 or 6, I know that's going to be a massive pain because you'll never know the amount of people that have influenced you. And to be fair, everyone does. But if you had to narrow it down to sort of 5 or 6 main ones that maybe have changed the trajectory of what you're doing. For the social media post, because I'd have to put it in a size 2 font otherwise.
Speed read. Literally, I guess, like, if we're going to think of the big names that got me onto the trajectory of wanting to be involved in magic, it's obviously like your Copperfields, your Blaines, your Stephen Frains. Those guys, they set me up to want to be into magic. They inspired me to be wanting to be in magic. And then you have like Tom Elderfield, Tobias Storstel. You have those creative minds that know how to create those little things, those little ideas. Again, because I'm not into slides. Well, I'm into slides, but I can't do them. So my trajectory and what inspires me is gimmicks, right?
Creative aspect.
Yeah. So looking at those guys inspire me to a degree. Like, I want to be that creative. I want to think outside the box in the way that their minds work. And then Perseus Archimedes, I'm butchering his name. I've had so many conversations with him about scripting. That man, he can script.
He's the class on scripting and storytelling.
I love hearing just sitting. I just swoon by him. He can talk to me any time of the day. He's just so good at the way he can script and put his ideas out and create again those moments. I love his inspiration. Like, I'll never be able to do what he does, but just listening to where his mind works, he's an inspiration to want to better myself in those moments.
I believe Perseus is doing the Oracle Bar's Halloween show this year
Oh, really?
in Liverpool. Yeah, which
I need to
is
come. I need to come over.
wild. So I'm gonna have to get myself down to see that, because to see what Perseus does in the
Mhm.
magic aspect, to then take it into the spooky stuff, which I absolutely love. Horror, love Halloween. Like,
Yeah.
putting those two together, I need to. So I'm gonna get down and watch that at some point. I believe it's Perseus. If it's not, I'm just gonna cut this part of the episode
Yeah.
and we'll pretend it never happened.
And then we're like, classic. That's where it's going to come back in. Yeah. But you know, he's one of those guys that takes moments. Everything that he's created, like the bottle, it's Medusa, which is like the stone effect where you take a lighter and you turn it to stone. Very simple pieces of magic. Again, very simple slides. But the stories and the ideas he leaves behind in those, insane. Such beautiful pieces. Yeah. So
Oof.
that was short.
Solid list as well.
Yeah.
It was surprisingly short. But again, you could go on. I can imagine there's a multitude of people that
Yes.
you work with on a daily basis that you could name. But again, we'd never be able to list off every single person that inspired us.
Lloyd Barnes, Peter Turner, man. Again, I'm going to Javier Fonmeyer, just working with him and the way he's. Yeah, I'm going to stop. Daniel Garcia, Wayne Houchin, man. Just, I think inspiration from all the people that, I guess, I said it to Danny when I first met Danny. We had to do things with Murphy's. I felt like a fanboy because he was such an inspiration for me to, like, again, this is how you can create magic, and then hanging out with him and spending days with him, and his mind works. Like, just watching him sit at a table when we're having dinner and he picks up some spoons and he starts doing stuff. I'm like, insane.
Just crazy, man. And again, like you said, this industry is so beautiful in that it is such a collaborative thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many of the big boys that are just willing to give their time and energy to just sit down and, you know, talk methods and like have a good chat about what they do, because they're so passionate about it. And it's just something that you'd never get in other industries. Like, if you were into athletics, for example, it's not like you can just sit down with peak Olympians and just talk through like running technique whilst you're just wandering about. Whereas magic conventions and things like that, obviously within reason, don't just be an absolute creep and hound everyone. Nobody likes that. But if you're respectful and you approach it correctly, it's some of the most like wonderful times I've had over the past few years, just like vibing with people and chilling and listening to stories and watching them drop their mind on a table in the ruskin when you're half cut. Like,
I think that's the thing too. Magicians don't know how, like, they're inspirations to other magicians, right?
Yeah.
So they go to a table and all of a sudden someone comes up and says, the way you put a coin in that can was life-changing for me. And they're like, really? That was just a little thing. I was like, it's an idea I had and I loved. But it's, again, that could have been one of the things that got that person into magic, and that's life-changing for them. And I have that moment that I think magicians get, I know, but when I go up and people go, I've been performing that trick for years and I still perform it. Like, it's one of my favorite tricks. I'm like, really? Thank you so much. Like, you don't expect that. So for someone to come up, I'm more willing to just spill my guts and tell you everything that I have working on. And it'll be on Alibaba next week because someone's going to steal it. But you know what I mean? It's going to be like one of those things I'm happy to. I think magicians, we love to share. We get excited about someone that's excited about something as much as we are.
Yeah. So, and again, it's, as you say, it's easy to forget just how much of an impact you have as well, even from a performative perspective. Obviously, we've been impacted on by other magicians that we aspire towards, but even the people that you're performing for, the impact that you can have on them, whether somebody sees a card trick at a sort of stage show that you're working on, or like a wedding or something like that, might seem so insignificant to you because, again, it's just another day, it's another job. But to that person, they might take that memory and it might last with them forever, like the card in the wallet. And they could go on to get into magic themselves and start a career. And you were this one spark that had this massive impact on these people that you just don't realize. And again, it comes back to not knowing both how many people have influenced you and how many people you've influenced as well. I think a lot of people need to understand that one conversation, one word could be the difference between changing somebody's life. Like, and again, I think that's why it's so beautiful that a lot of magicians are willing to give that time, because it's those little things that mean so much time you can't get back.
Yeah.
Like these interviews and things like that, I am so eternally grateful for the time that people like yourself give up to do this, because at the end of the day, this is time you're not going to get back.
Yeah.
And time is money, time is memories spent elsewhere, time is time you could be having with your family. So for somebody to give that time is
Yeah.
it means a lot. So I think people need to like drop back and really allow themselves to like sit in the moment sometimes and be like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah. Get out and share your ideas, even if you don't feel like it's where you want it to be yet. There's a reason. Share it with someone and say, hey, what do you guys think? Get outside your comfort zone. Have people are going to be, we're also, as much as nice as we are, we're very critical and toxic and stuff. So take it with a grain of salt. There could be a lot of jealousy there. You could be doing something really beautiful. Again, like those beautiful ideas, and you're just doing a simple move, but it's not anything good. Add in a 14 phase, and you're like, well, no, I don't need to do that. You take as much information you can in, whether it's good or bad, and again, adapt it to your own thing. Just, again, share your stuff. Don't feel, that's one thing I can, if I'm going to ever tell a magician that wants to come and say to me, hey, I want to do what you do. I'm like, share as much as you can. Good, bad ideas. If you give out 100 ideas and 90 of them are bad, 80 of them are bad, don't care.
There's one thing that somebody might say that may take one of those really bad ideas and flip it completely and be like, oh, this is a new way that you could potentially do this, or it's a new way you could think about this. And again, you would never get that without the collaboration, without giving up those ideas, without opening yourself up to these other mindsets, because you can bounce ideas off people. And that's one of the fun things, as you know, like working in consultancy, is the second you throw an idea at somebody and they're like, oh yeah, and you could do it this way and that way. And then what started off as such a small concept then becomes what could potentially be something that turns into a massive standalone piece for somebody that you're working for. And it just sparked off of, what can I do with this one little thing? And then, you run with it.
Exactly. The amount of times in consultancy, like you will sit around, you have like an idea of the premise of the trick, and you'll throw out an idea and someone's like, that's terrible. Everyone will be like, that's terrible. You're like, yeah, you're right. That is terrible.
Yeah.
Then half an hour down the road, someone will throw out an idea and it will work back to the trick that you come up with. And then everything will kind of like you said, like stretch off that, and everything will just go boom, boom. It'll come together like a jigsaw puzzle. You're like putting all these little pieces, go where they go, and all of a sudden you start hitting and everything just, you've got this beautiful piece of magic. So share as much as you can.
Collaboration.
Tell me your secrets. I'm going to release them all.
Yeah, it's just selfish on our part. We just want to know everything.
Yeah, that's it.
We're going to get on to our final quickfire segment, which I fear we have, one, spoken about already way too much, and two, could end up down a rabbit hole. But do you have a particular main magic industry gripe? Whether this is something that you see in the magic community that doesn't belong there, whether it's things like goes is a big one in my opinion, piracy, like those kinds of things. Is there anything to you that stands out as something that you don't think belongs in the magic industry?
I think
without throwing yourself under the bus, or without having previously mentioned it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think about, what were previously mentioned. I think the biggest gripe that I have is probably that toxicity that people have towards other magicians. Like, we all started somewhere. Like, we're all in this together. We're all, again, we're here to make magic better, right? We're not here to, as a whole, we're here for the art of magic, right? We're not here for ourselves. We're here for everything. So again, if you see someone's put something out, try and think of back to when you first started. I remember when I first started magic, and I was probably a year or two in, and I thought I knew everything about every trick, and I was giving off left, right, and center. And it comes with, I guess, age. You're going to learn that, you got to be nice to people, and people are working hard to get where they are. They've spent 9 years doing this routine. They don't need. But yeah, I think the biggest gripe I have is just you can be honest with someone, but do it in a nice way. Like, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. But if you want to be creative and like give creative criticism, do that, but help the person. Don't just say, oh, I hate that routine, it's disgusting.
Yeah. There's a big difference between constructive criticism and just being an asshole.
Yes, just that person's loves magic as much as you do. Help them. Say, look, you might not like the idea, but give them like, hey, this is cool. Well, I don't really like this, but this is how I would perform it. And again, that might give them the idea that they've been searching for to evolve it and make it into the next big thing, right? So,
and it might inspire you as well.
Yeah.
Like, it works both ways. You could be helping somebody with something that you thought it's not particularly great, but then that might spur an idea that you then run with for something else.
yes,
Like, again, it works in both directions. And as you say, we're here to build people up, and it's so easy to think, okay, I know everything. Like, I know how this method works. Like, why didn't you use this? Why didn't you use that? You could have done this. It would have been better. It would have been more practical. But they've done it that way for a reason. And
Yes.
again, it's easy to forget that there's so much time and effort gone into that for you to look at the finished product and go, bit shit, has just dismissed 9 years of their entire life that they've just put into this thing.
Yeah.
As opposed to you going, that's cool. I see some potential. Like, sure, it might work for you. Personally, I'd do it this way. That's different to just being like, why did you release that? It's awful.
Yeah.
2 stars.
Yeah, again, it might not suit your genre, your style. Just move on. It's like all the movies coming out. You're not writing reviews on every single movie trailer you see online going, well, that's the worst Sundance Film Festival trailer I've ever seen.
You can't create for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, it's a physical impossibility. Again, like comedians, for example, I find so incredibly inspiring because they are creating their own styles, but also trying to cater their humor to such a wide variety of people. And again, same for magic. Like, you're trying to create something that interacts and like works with everyone. Obviously, there's going to be people that don't like it, but you need to understand that that works both ways.
Yes.
There's going to be people that don't like watching your magic.
Yes.
But also, you're also not going to enjoy watching other people's magic. So, yeah, take it with a pinch of salt because it'll equally come back to you. And there's always going to be somebody who's more talented, better looking, more creatively thinking, more knowledgeable. Like, just
But you
realize that you're sorted.
But you find that those guys are the guys that you will want to chat to you at the conventions too.
Yeah.
You get the ones that are like angry about something that never share anything online. They don't post stuff. They love to like hate. They love to be keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
People that are like down to help you out and be constructive and be nice and stuff are the ones at conventions that are like your Danny Garcias.
Yeah.
Or like that will like you'll see them at a table and they're like, let's jam, let's hang out. And you're like, yeah.
That's why they're at the place they are, though.
Yeah.
They've gotten to that level because they're open to collaboration, because they're nice to people. Like, it pays dividends. What you put out, you receive back without a shadow of a doubt, especially in this industry. So don't be an arsehole. If there's one takeaway from today's podcast, that should be it.
I know the clip's gonna be like, Beau hates magic, don't be an arsehole. And then that's the clip, and that's
Sorted. Stop being assholes, stop being lazy.
Yeah.
We don't like magic. There we go, sorted.
and well, it's been good chatting, man.
Yep. That's both of our magic careers out of the window.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey-o. Obviously, you mentioned earlier on, over time, you've gradually become sort of one of the main faces of Murphy's Magic. Even got the hat on as we speak. Constant promotion and the t-shirt. There we go. Represent. How did this come about? Obviously, I can imagine that it wasn't something that you anticipated or were sort of driving towards. And off the back of that, you've mentioned over the years you've seen an abundance of tricks come over your desk because you get to see literally everything as it's released and you're constantly talking about stuff. How do you feel about where magic as an industry currently is?
Whoa, okay, whoa, loaded. All right, let's go. Yes. Now we're getting long form content. So starting with Murphy's, my career in social media magic and social media marketing and stuff, it came about because I was performing magic, but I used to see magicians perform the same tricks online time and time again. And I wanted to take my content and think outside the box. And that's kind of how I got into what I was doing. And then that led me to different careers with different people. And with Murphy's, I was originally working with Dynamo at the time, with Stephen Frame at the time, working on his content. And Murphy's came along to me and said, hey, can you take a look at our socials and tell us what you think? And I was like, it's kind of like falling into like, we get, I guess, lazy. Again, magicians get lazy as like content creators and stuff. We get lazy and we just put up what works. It's simple, quick stuff. And we're trying to get that content and trying to think of outside the box of why would we want to make people watch the content? I think as social media creators. So Murphy's like, wasn't something that I was like openly like looking for. And they're like, can you just have a look? And I've always loved Murphy's. I remember my first convention I went to, it was a Murphy's party. If you've ever been lucky to go to a Murphy's party, it'll never happen again. Last time the police got called and it was all shut down. It's a big thing. But
that was great.
Yeah, but again, you were there hanging out with the big names in Magic, and I just love Murphy's at that aspect. So I came in, and the way I think of Murphy's is it's a wholesaler, right? We don't sell to end users. Like, it'll never happen. We're only here because of the Magic shops. But I saw Murphy's as not trying to be a shop, as like a community. And I was like, we should take Murphy's away from like trying to like, there's so many times like we're just trying to throw product in your face. Yeah. And I don't want that. I want Murphy's. I know we post trailers and stuff because we've got to do that. Yeah. But a lot of the times where I'm trying to take the socials now, and was my suggestion back at the time, is it's a community. So I never wanted to be the face, and I'm only the face for like the long form content, right? Yeah. So it's only because our weekly show, I need to say, hey, there's a new trick, or have you seen this perform, or have you seen this magic shop? I'm trying to like, I'm literally the middle bit to like get to those segments. And everything else, I want to be the community. I want people to share their content with us and tag us. And if I can, I'll like collaboration, put it up. And generally with collaborations, I try and accept every single collaboration. There's some I don't, because again, the industry is quite toxic, and I've shared stuff in the past. I shared something once, this is back in my first year, and it was with a 12-year-old kid, and he messaged me asking me to take it down because he's never cried so much. And his mother actually messaged me as Murphy's socials as well, because the industry were just picking on this kid. And it was you could see how passionate and excited he was about his routine. And people were like, Murphy's, why are you posting this terrible piece? I'm like, there's this kid, he's 12, he's excited about Magic. Yeah. Why are we as an industry? So I'll look at that either shared as a story or on our weekly content. I'll mention the person and I'll put them up as the artist of the week. And I want Murphy's to be, again, please use, I'm looking right at the camera now, use and abuse Murphy's socials as a performer. If you got something you want to share to the world, use us to like push it out. Again, we don't have to be selling the product. We just want to like share Magic. We love Magic, right? I'm probably going to get fired for this because I'm not trying to push product down your throat. But I love Magic. I guess that's kind of why I've been here 4 years now. Is I just love Magic. We love Magic. But let's share Magic. Use our platform to share. So I am the face of it in that way. But I don't want to be. I want everyone to be the face of Murphy's, because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for everyone loving Magic and then buying the pieces of Magic that inspire them, and they just put in their junk drawer, you know?
And again, as you say, like, the last thing you want to be doing is pushing product down people's faces, because especially as a wholesaler, they're already getting that from all of the Magic companies that are then wholesaling this stuff. So for you guys to then be at it even more would just be absolute carnage. So to be able to have a safe space for people to come to and really look at Magic and see where everything's going, and have this one sort of central location as a community to come see all of the latest releases, to come vibe with all the biggest names. You got the live streams, you got the Saturday sorcery sessions, you got absolutely all sorts of stuff that just brings everyone together. Yeah, I think that's honestly made a massive change in the industry over the past few years, because as you say, like, the Magic shops are doing enough alone to sell the product. You got to buy it anyway, let's be honest. If it looks cool and it intrigues you, you're going to buy it. Don't need to shove stuff down your face. So the more you can just sort of see cool stuff and vibe with cool people is...
Exactly. I think the issue with, I guess, getting into like the next segment is the industry where we are, where there's so many big names, like shops out there in Magic, that there are like smaller ones. And this is where I guess Murphy Socials come back into it. We kind of help that. There's so many times, there would be so many times when dealers will message us and say, hey, can you help promote us because we're having a tough week? Or, you know, and you kind of like, well, we are a wholesaler, but they're our customers. The end users aren't.
The better they do, the better you do.
Yeah, exactly. But we're trying to help them because they're like, there's so many brick and mortar stores are going down and down and down. And is it easy just to open an online shop and just sell it from your your lounge room. Yeah, exactly. So there's so many times that brick and mortar stores are going down, or even like the online stores. And again, you see shops out there that absolutely love magic. Like Joe from Misdirections in San Francisco. He's got a brick and mortar store, and I love watching him perform, how excited he is. And I can imagine him demoing to spectators coming into his shop going, hey, I want to pick up a trick. He's like, yeah. Or Magic Ballet.
Like my entire passion. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll try and share those dealers out, because I know they maybe not be out if there might be a magic shop. Like, oh, it's another shop. But it's someone that's really excited about his magic as much as I am. And I love watching that. And I think that's what the industry needs. We need everyone to realize that we're all in this together, right? We're not trying to, like, the amount of times I get people messaging Murphy's and going, hey, that trick you just shared, I don't sell that trick, or you don't sell that trick. I'm like, I don't, but it's from Penguin, or it's from Vanishing, and we don't sell it, but I love the effect. So
again, it's supporting and collaborating with everybody else, which is nice to see, because again, as you say, I think a lot of times it's a very volatile industry, and everybody's sort of out for their own and their best, but again, collaboration's what takes those people to the top, as opposed to dragging each other down, because all you're going to do is drag yourself down in the process. Yeah,
exactly. I think I've had so many conversations with, I guess, because we mentioned it, Penguin and Vanishing, they're like big names in the industry. There's always people go, oh, you guys are competitors, you're enemies. But I've had so many chats with like their social media teams going, we're not. Like, we all love magic, so why are we fighting each other? Like,
there's so much space in the industry for absolutely everyone. Like, if you think how many bricks and mortar magic shops there are, I can imagine nowadays it's very, very small. But over the entire world, there are so many people that can go to each of those, and everybody can have their own like slice of the pie.
Yeah.
There's no need to be treading on each other's toes and creating issues between people, because at the end of the day, like, we all want what's best for the magic community. And in doing so, all we're doing is damaging it for those people, and then in retrospect for ourselves. So
can you imagine?
You do that?
You imagine the next generation coming into the magic and going, wow, this is, I don't feel safe sharing stuff. I don't want to go to magic shops. Like, no one's here to help each other out. It's
horrible, man.
So
sort your shit out.
Yeah, magicians.
We're sort our shit out too.
Yeah,
we're part of the problem as well.
I'll get away from the camera and chat to you at the convention. I apologize.
Obviously, you mentioned earlier that you've consulted on a variety of different things, and you've created gimmicks for lots of big names. We don't necessarily have to go into specific details, because I can imagine there are NDAs to hear. But do you have any particular experiences or sort of standout stories that you can tell us about to bring some light to some of the stuff that you've done over the incredible career that you've had?
Well, thank you, firstly. I guess there's so many good times, like obviously the good times of like hanging out and jamming with these guys and coming up with ideas. But like the standout one is, it's a recent one. So there's like been so many times that I look back on what I've done and worked with, and like traveling to like all these countries and work with names that I've watched on TV, and then you're sitting there and like touching hands with them, putting cards in their hands and just stroking. Like, those things are like mind blowing.
Yeah.
But then like the standout part would be, there was for Stephen Frane's latest TV show, I won't get into the name of the effect or what it was, but there was an effect that we created for the show that, it was funny, like the idea behind it everyone had, but didn't know how to build it. And then like, Beau, can you do this? I was like, oh yeah, I can do that. And created it. And then it was the thing that, luckily enough, they got me out to help with on the show. And then to see it in the show was so like kind of cool. And then that effect was like nominated for a BAFTA. That's what got like the magic team. That was the trick the producers saw and went, we need to send this away for BAFTA nomination. And I guess anyone outside of the UK now is like, BAFTAs? What are they? Like, it's like, would you say like
big deal is what that is?
It's this cool moment of like, I guess it's a realization of the things that you've been working for, and to like create those moments, because I'm trying not to give away what the trick was. In the moment and seeing that perform to the spectators and having that, seeing the faces and the reactions I I guess I hope that inspired a lot of people in that moment that they're going to go back and look on. I guess it kind of inspired the producers to be like, hey, we need to nominate this. We need to make a thing of it. Like that moment of like creating those things is kind of like, it was like a multi-layered thing. And then kind of like the recognition for it at the end was kind of cool.
It like, I know validation's not exactly everyone's highest priority, but it's still nice to be able to look at what is essentially years of your life or even months going into one single like 30-second part of like a TV episode, and then getting the recognition for all of the hard work and the time and the effort that you've put into that. It makes it all so worthwhile. And again, as you say, the culmination of all of that time and then seeing it performed for the spectator and seeing their reactions just makes everything so much worthwhile.
Yeah.
For all the work that you've done.
And not only me, but the entire team, because it made a village to make that piece of magic happen. Like, it's just watching, like, from the I wouldn't have been able to like create that trick if it wasn't for the idea originally, and then like getting it into Steven's hands, and like everyone involved to make that thing happen. It's not only like, again, not that we want to use the word of validation, not for me, but the whole team, that everyone's hard work paid off. So that was what the biggest moment for me was, like just excitement to see everyone that was involved in that excited about it as well. So
it, strangely enough, comes back to collaboration and sharing ideas and
that
concept.
I feel like
what's
the premise of it? Yeah. What's the theme of this show, right?
Yeah. Again, it just comes, as we say, it comes back to that, and just being willing to sort of take a back seat. I feel like a lot of people sort of want to do the best for themselves, which is obviously always a good thing. But being able to drop your ego and be like, okay, let's figure out something together and let's make something really cool. The industry as a whole is so much more rewarding than being like, I want to be the one singular person to do the thing.
By all means, if you want to do that, go do it. But it's a long, lonely process.
If you had the opportunity to vibe out with your friends and do something cool, why would you not do that?
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Just a quick interruption before we get into the next question. Obviously, with this podcast comes a ton of recommendations from guests of either books or tricks, and logically, I turn to MAGICBOX. Not only do they usually have exactly what I need, but I can get it the next day. Plus, Graham and the team really know their magic, so if I have any questions or queries about a product, they're ready to answer over the phone or email. And as a bonus for you listeners at home, you can also grab 10% off with the code PATCT. Just head to magicbox.uk.com and use the code at the checkout. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. Now back to the episode. We're going to hop into, speaking of the creative process and all of the stuff that goes into all of these incredible projects, we're going to hop into a section called Annotated Erdness, where normally we take a look at a guest's performance. We're going to take a look at one of your viral Instagram clips, and we're going to have a look at, one, the trick itself, and then very graciously, because you are the man behind the method, we're going to take a look at the whole process behind it as well, which is not something that we'd normally do with this being public forum, but you've been gracious enough to be like, this is crazy. You just need to see it.
I love an idea that's just over the top absurd for what it is.
Yeah. Perfect. We're going to switch across to our annotated cam. So let's take a quick look at this, and then we can discuss it as we go, because it has copyrighted music. So
we're going to be talking over top. So I had this idea that I wanted a never-ending can. I love the idea of a can, and it's just constantly pouring. You could technically pour this can forever and ever and ever and ever. And it's just, it was a concept I had. I'm like, how am I going to make this happen? And I came up with so many different ideas. I'm actually working on a close-up version of this, because this inspired, again, a close-up version. But I wanted the can to pour forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And this was a brainchild of this stupid thing. And there was so many different processes, I guess, eliminations that I had to do at the end of this, that it was just stupid. Okay, so you can see that we stopped it, because I think back in the day, Instagram could only go for a minute. For like the videos. Oh, I just noticed that my screen is really bright here, and I just saw the complete method. So that was great. But it was only for a minute. I actually wanted it to go for like half an hour. I wanted it to be a long video. But you could. So that was the idea behind that. But I don't know. It was one of those things, again, I'm not performing this for magicians. I was performing this for my friends and family, which back home, small country town, everyone loves to drink beer. They were like, all the boys were like, yeah, endless beer. But it was the process of doing that, I guess, kind of me again wanting to not only cater to laymen. That was the thing. I also wanted laymen to be like cancelling out methods for them. Not that they're going to think of it, but I think that helped with magicians, because magicians are like, well, we don't know how that's done. And that kind of created that process of like a cool effect, but it's not viable. You wouldn't be doing this in a close-up scenario. You wouldn't be doing this on the street unless...
Yeah, having seen the sort of freeze frame, I've not watched the next part of the video.
Mm-hmm.
Beau sent me this like seconds before we started, so having seen even just a freeze frame of what's happening in concept is absolutely hilarious. So I'm going to switch over to that super quick.
Yeah, this is Nathan Dharma. You can see there the method. You probably saw it if you turned up your brightness on your screen. You saw it was a black pipe that we had, and I wanted to walk in the screen, and Nathan loads it up and onto a milk crate so it actually can sit in frame now. And then it's literally just gravity fed. But the thing is the can, you can see all the towels over the ground. When we first started this leaked insanely. And we had the can itself is over-engineered to the hilt. Like I had if you go back and watch the can, the logo on the back, I cut that out.
Fully rotated, yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to have the can rotated. I could have a hole in the back. But I was like, I wanted a piece that you could like lock onto the end of the pipe, push it into the can, and it would lock and seal on the other end so you wouldn't leak out the back. And then when you would finish, you would pull the can back out and it would lock into place again. And you could actually run your hand over it and be flat and smooth. Like if you wanted the can hand, which again, look at that premise. You've got tubes everywhere. You're not going to hand this can out, but I wanted it to, if you wanted to. Yeah, I think it was like leaks there because I think when you can see like leaking as I get off of the screen there. It's one of those premises where it's just so stupid, but again, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes for that.
Yeah,
you're playing to the audience, and that's one of the things I love about social media, right? You've got that this is your lens, this is your spectator's eye. What you're doing outside that no one is going to have an idea of what you're doing. I think that's why it's such a weird social. I guess we're getting on a bit of a tangent here. This is why social media kind of goes into this weird demographic now of like it's a new style and genre of magic. It's also shunned on a lot because the camera doesn't blink. It's so hard for you to create these moments, especially with visual stuff, right? You can create like nice storylines and heartfelt pieces of magic, but it's so hard to like create these moments with like these super visual pieces. And that's
especially
why
when everybody can look at it in 4K, slow it down, go back, watch it time and time again, put it in 5% speed.
But as you look back on stage magic, right? People think of that as like, you know, a true form of magic, which it is. And I think the same for social media. You're playing to your platform. With stage magic, you have the privilege of being on a stage away from the audience. You can have black art, you can have all these wires, all these crazy stuff. Blank out all the methods like
behind the scenes, backstage, like
exactly
everything that's unseen.
All these trapdoors, everything going on. You're playing to your platform, right? So you're using what you have and giving that moment to your audience. And I'm the same for social media. And it comes down to an edit that we did. Well, no, I did. It was I loved it. It was David Blaine performing Double Cross. And there were so many magicians coming back and going, oh, you didn't show the load. You just cut the load out. I was like, well, to be fair, we didn't do that. The TV company did that. I took their clip. I just love Double Cross. And for the spectators watching, they don't remember. If you ever said to a spectator, you said, oh, remember that thing I did? There was the mark on your hand. They're not like, oh, yeah, at the beginning of the trick.
This happened?
Yeah. And then like 5 minutes later, you took a Sharpie. No one's remembering that. They're remembering that moment. And granted, don't chop up your performances to like crazy. Yeah. But for the spectator, for the moment that they're remembering, I'm going to like, there was a piece of social media I did for Murphy's, and it was the Mr. Dong video. And I cut that. That was a camera cut because I know if I put up, spoiler alert, guys, you can go back and watch it. But the idea was, I love to have these, again, I do this for, I guess, myself, but also magicians, of creating that moment again, right? So making the magician watching feel like that spectator again. And if I were to do it like the classic way, the SpongeBall's routine work, magicians would be like, oh, you're just loading it in. You're doing that. Yeah, cool. So I did it. It was an edit, but I did it in such a way that the spectator remembers it that way. They say, you took a sponge ball, you opened it up, and then it was a sponge penis. That's mind-blowing. How did that happen? That's what they remember. They don't remember all these different slants you did. Yeah. So I think that's why I love that kind of like style of magic, not over editing, and we're not getting like into CGI and we're not Marvel effectsing everything. You're still, I think if you can do that effect in real life, there's a way you can also make it for social media. There's a routine. Richard Sanders did one. I've forgotten the name of it. I just remembered it and I've forgotten of it. It's where he turns around and he has a card in his mouth. He does
30 seconds to stun.
30 seconds to stun. And that's not a trick in the tutorial. He says that this isn't a trick for social media. Yeah. And there's been so many times, I think that's a beautiful piece of magic. And it comes down to an idea that I actually ended up filming a routine for social media. Same premise. You have your hands behind your back, and when you turn around, the card's in your mouth. And I felt like if we posted that, magicians would be upset going, I can't do that in real life. The spectator watches it. They're going to think of it the exact same way, right? Whereas the camera doesn't blink. Again, take that magic, evolve it, and adapt it to what platform you're performing this for. So
again, it's protecting the integrity of the art form.
Yes.
While still giving exactly as you say. I mean, we've had this conversation before about it's okay as long as it's like if a spectator was to recall exactly what happened like minutes later after that trick, they'd describe exactly what they were seeing. And if they were then to watch that clip again, whether it be on TV or whether it be on like social media, they would go, yep, that's exactly what I saw.
Yeah.
Like, sure, it might not be the exact nuances of where hands were and where things were passed across or whatever, but to them, what they saw and what they experienced is exactly as it's displayed there. And I think, as you said, that is perfectly fine in that regard because, one, you are protecting methodology so that people can still maintain that level of sort of enjoyment of the art form.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're not doing it in a way that is intentionally deceptive.
Yeah. You don't want to have like overly like I said, like cut edited clips that like that video of me with the can. You're not going to do that. Like if someone were to like, hey, can I see that trick, that never ending can in real life? I'd be like, no. And that's why I'm trying to work out a close-up version for that. Yeah, not yet. But there are other versions on the market now that are kind of similar to the way I want to go. Yeah. But that's the thing. Whether they've seen that clip and inspired them, like, hey, I need to do a close-up version of this, or I don't know. But the fact is I love that you take that and go, how can I make that in real life? And I want that for all the. If you're going to cut a clip up, make sure you can do the same trick in real life. Yeah. Again, it doesn't have to be exactly the same because you're going to cut it or edit it, but you're not.
Conceptually, it should look. Or it should be remembered as this.
Yes, I think just to kind of, I'm so sorry, I go on tangents. It made me think of like social media magic now, where you have like, they see the people that react to the video, not like, you get the layman in there that don't know, but you have like one that I can think about is Joel M, and he does it with his brother. Or you have like people now that do it with like their partners. Obviously, their partners know they're magicians.
Yeah.
But I think the fact is now we're now in that same genre now. It goes back to stage magic. The assistants on stage know the trick.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. The sequence dressers and all of those people know what the trick is. So to have them react,
she knows she's gonna get cut.
yeah, right? Crazy. But them getting involved in the trick sells the trick to the audience watching, the spectators, right? All this, the audience, thousands of people in the seats. I think the same way for social media. If you're going to have your brother or your partner, you're doing tricks to them and they're like, whoa, this is crazy. you're selling that piece of magic. You're selling is a weird term, but you're selling that performance to the people watching. And people like, I know there's pictures like, oh, they're getting the exposed view. Why are they getting excited about it? Their purpose is to
portray the image of a spectator watching it for the first time in real time as they would.
Yeah, exactly. If you were to have like a spectator, like if I were to perform a trick right for you now, like you're watching at home going, oh, that's cool. But if you're watching someone alongside it going, what? You're like, that is cool. So
it's like when you watch comedy yourself and you're like, haha, that's kind of funny. Then you watch it with like 2 or 3 other people and you're like belly laughing because it has that sense of community and you can laugh along with it.
Yeah.
I fully agree. It gets you more involved in what you see.
It's the same way they do for like sitcoms, like the 90s sitcoms that have like laughing tracks.
Yeah.
Because if you're just watching a joke, someone tell a joke and it's dead silence, you kind of go, whoa. But if you have like someone laugh, you're kind of like more like,
I'm allowed to laugh. I have permission to.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that helps magic. Obviously, you don't want to go over the top. Without saying names, we all know there's magicians out there that go too crazy with it.
Comment.
No comment. But we know that those guys that do that. But I think there's no. I've got no gripe with that. I think, you're playing to your platform. You know what your genre is, your style is.
The same with it goes back to like creating magic for what you do.
Yeah.
Like, sure, have your opinions, but if you're not a stage magician and it's not going to work for you, there's no need for you to voice your opinion on that stage product. It's the same in this regard. Like, if you're not a social media magician, yeah, sure, that might not work in real life, but it's working for what they're doing right now, which is the content that you're consuming.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not then going out and performing that exact thing. That's not why they're there.
Unless you want to take those pipes and build them into seats and a stage and stuff, then because you got black art there, baby. Hey, there might be a stage magician that pulls out a couch, draws it on the stage, and just loads up out of the bottom of the stage, and it goes back up off the stage, and there's a pump. You see Darren Brown now pouring endless pints on stage.
Imagine that, this really somber mentalism piece, and he's just like, give me 2 seconds.
It's like an hour-long show of just him pouring pints for the whole crowd out of one can. But
I can't wait for the 24 hours Murphy's live stream of you just pouring pints. A can non-stop.
Jeez, there you go. Again, I'm playing to the thing. But again, if that could be a way that magicians could look at that and go, I'm going to have a pipe come up out of the stage now, or out of an armchair and pour endless pints. Or it doesn't have to be pints, but that could inspire someone to use it.
What works for you.
Exactly.
Full circle. Full circle, baby.
We covered the whole script. We did that pretty much word for word. That's good.
Yeah, nailed it.
Obviously,
you're an incredibly creative guy with both the gimmicks that you make, but obviously you've done a lot of work in the past on like full stage production, from QLab files, lights, sound, like everything in that regard. What is your creative process, both either when it comes to creating a trick or creating a concept or creating a show? What is your general process for that? I know they're 2 very different processes, so you can pick either or both. It's up to you.
Yeah. I see. This is the thing. I love watching. I love hearing other magicians' creative processes, and then thinking, "Hang on, is mine right or wrong?" Like, because I don't have a book where I just write down ideas. Mine come to me like, I'll think of it like, I love my first trick, eye loopy pull, came to me because that was the first trick I produced. The first trick was obviously the slide to unlock. There's a thing I saw unlock, and I think of a padlock. So it was like, how padlocks? How can I get a padlock in a phone? How can I get a padlock out of a phone? And it was that I had where I wanted to end, and I had to reverse engineer it to happen. And that happens with a lot of my effects. I get excited by a idea, and then I have to reverse engineer it. But then there's also other tricks that I will find a method, like Tobias's goopy stuff, that I'll think of I'll stumble across an idea and go, hang on, how can I make this a piece of magic? And then how can I, and then I think that way is more challenging, because you have a cool idea, but how do you
know where to get to? There's defined end goal.
Yeah, so many times you get to a point, you're like, well, that's a cool thing, but I think we see that a lot in magic with the same thing. You go, that's a cool piece of visual stuff, but a lot of magicians say, what's the point of it? Why would you ever do that? Also, that's another thing. Magic in itself's weird. Like, why would you tear a card up to put it back together again?
Yeah, I think that concept as a whole, I think people being like, yeah, but why would I carry this weird object around? You're a magician. You're innately weird.
Yeah, you carry sponge balls on you, and yeah.
Spectators don't care that you just pulled out an ornate box. As long as you have rhyme and reason for that, whether it be a story piece, whether it be narrative driven, whether it be any reason.
Yeah.
Spectators aren't questioning that. They're not like, oh, this is stupid because he pulled out this thing that nobody would ever have. People are like, wow, this is really cool, and the story and the concept and the trick are really creative. And
if it matches your style and your genre too, like if you're pulling out Spirit Bell and trying like
as a kid's performer.
Yeah. But I guess if you have that as like a funny piece of like, you give the kid magical powers and they can ring the bell to stop the show anytime they want. They go, and all of a sudden you're like setting up the people are like, oh, stop with your powers. That creates a different, again, adapting it to the routine and who you're performing it for. It's not like, oh man, I just got
a seance for children would be
that's what I was just thinking in my head. I was like,
as a concept.
Terrifying, and them going home and going, Mummy, I never want to see that guy again. But I think that's kind of the creative process I go down. I get excited by an idea, and either kind of build off that, or again with stuff that's already out there, I can see the reason why that person created it and how I want to evolve it into either the person I'm working for or myself. How would I use this in my own day-to-day life? Like I don't perform like I was saying, but my house is just loaded with tricks all around it. So it's for when people come over, and I've Shine 3.0 built into a lamp that's unplugged the whole time. So I never want my wife to turn on, but it's for when it comes over, people come over and the light goes out. I'm like, oh, sorry, can you just hold on to this for a second? And all of a sudden the light turns on. And they're like, what the hell, why is it? I'm like, why is it doing that? And they have no idea. It's just creating these moments. Of this like most mundane thing that they weren't going to expect they were going to experience. I think that's where my creative process comes, is like trying to think outside the box of what I would want magic to be and what I want it to be for someone else. I kind of work in different ways.
Different ways. Yeah.
That's a lot of playing.
There's never a singular right way to do something. And again, coming from interviewing a multitude of different people, everybody's creative methodology is completely different. And what works for somebody is not going to work for somebody else. Some people can't just sit down and look at a single playing card for 7 hours a day and be like, right, how can I create this most ridiculous gimmick with just what I have in front of me? Whereas other people will go, I have this idea and I'm driven to get to that no matter what it takes.
It was like Kayla Morelli stayed with me for a while back in Australia. And I remember one night I was like, I want to have a deck of cards that you'd put the spectator's ring in your hand and the deck would steal it. I was like, I think it would be a cool idea. Anyway, good night. And I go to bed and I wake up in the morning and outside my bedroom door is a deck of cards. I was like, what the hell is this? And Kalen couldn't sleep until he built it. And it was like a deck of cards that you could like load, that you put a ring, you take it off, put it on your palm of your hand. And you put the whole idea was like, now it's out of sight. Is it still there? Like out of sight, is it gone? And the spectators are like, well, no, obviously it's still there. And you're like, lift up the deck. They could lift up the deck and it's gone. And they can even spread through the cards. Not 100% examinable, but they could to a degree. And it was this whole, again, that's what I loved about Kalen's process was I need to figure out a way to get this done. And his mind is such an insane way his mind works too.
Some of the videos that he sort of disappeared for a little while, and recently he came back onto YouTube and started putting stuff out. My goodness, the concepts for the things that he's coming up with are just ridiculous. So visually beautiful, and I just look at them and go, there's not if you sat me down in a room in a million years with the stuff that he's had, I would never get to where he's got to with it.
But see, that's the thing. I saw one video that was beautiful. And I remember magicians going, this is just what the method is. Yeah, we know, but look how good it looks. Look how good it looks. It's one of those things again, it's so, he's doing such visual, beautiful work. I think his creative process is, like, he was one of those guys that had a book and he'd write all these ideas because he's just constantly, I remember he was trying to get me into a book. And again, I can't read properly. So I was like, I have a book. I think there's like 3 things written in it. I've just been for like my last 20 years. But my ideas, I kind of have a process where I imagine it, and then it kind of like I'll either get out and build it straight away, or again, I won't have the ability to show it. I'll just kind of like stew on it for years and just play around with different ideas, and then slowly come to a point where like, actually, this is good now, I think, and show magicians, and then someone's like, oh, that's terrible, do this. So even my process isn't fully fledged. I share with a lot of my friend magicians who create. Some create, some don't, and some are laymen. So I'll even like show them the idea and then expose it, because I want their input
on both how it looks and the method.
Yeah, a lot of times I find I don't show bloody Joe Blow on the street. I'll show my wife or, you know, very trusted friends. I know we shouldn't be sharing our magical secrets, but it's something I want as a layman's perspective. I find that sometimes they do have good ideas.
Yeah.
Because they know nothing about magic. Sometimes they'll have this crazy idea of how a magic trick. What you're like, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, that's a great solution. That's not it, but that's cool.
Yeah, and that could stew ideas for you, like create ideas for you. So
yeah. When it comes to releasing, like you've mentioned there, obviously you're bouncing ideas off other trusted friends and creators. How do you know when a product is ready for release, specifically for creating for release? Like, how do you know when it's at that level? Because I can imagine there's always a point where you can take something and just constantly evolve.
I don't think a trick is ever perfect for end, because you see it so many times. You know, a trick 2.0, a trick 3.0, a trick 4.0. It's because that person probably releases it, someone uses it and goes, actually, have you thought of using no magnets? And they're like, what? And then it creates all these things. I think the same thing. I get to a point in my effects where I think I've gotten to it as far as I can and showing other people, and they're like, this is great, it's ready for release. But I think I want to grow on that. And for that reason, I think there's low key, which we originally released. I know it's gone away off the App Store because it was a thing, but we're working on re-releasing it because there's so many ideas that the community had with performing it and using it, that we're coming back to it and working on a new release for it, because it's just like this cool premise that just I need a 2.0 version because there's so many ideas that everyone's come back to us with. I don't think it's ever 100% ready. I think the only one that would be kind of that route was iLoopy Pull. I don't know if you remember. It was like get a headphones, you wrap around the phone.
Yeah.
For free. That was an idea. I was like, I kept having headphones knotted around my phone. I just want to pull it, and I go through. I'm like, ooh. And then that was the idea. I was like, and I played around with that method. And then I don't know if that could ever be grown on.
Yeah.
Like, if someone could come up with a new way for that to happen, by all means, but I don't think that.
How many headphones have wires nowadays?
Yeah,
it's like technology's evolved as well. Which
to be honest, I get so excited when I'm in an airport and I see someone with headphones. I'm like, hey guy, nice headphones there. Yeah. But I don't think anything's ever truly ready. I think everything always, again, you see it in the industry now, new ideas, new methods, new adaptations on every trick. Nothing's ever perfect.
I think it's really beautiful to see as well from a creator's perspective, when people are willing to create sort of community Facebook pages and they're willing to have that development and that community where they can build on ideas and they can keep pushing things and they can keep throwing in new ideas, they can keep throwing in new updates. Like, it's nice to see that passion from the creators as well, because one of the things, again, going back to Magic Industry Gripes, is when an idea or concept has so much potential, but it's just been this like one-off project that somebody's released and then gone, okay, that's it, done, that's by the by. And then it doesn't get the updates or the infrastructure or the firmware, speaking specifically from like a technology standpoint, to continue to support that when people have put their money into it. I understand, obviously there's time on the creator's perspective as well, and they've got other things going on, so it's difficult to like constantly keep that up. But again, it's whether that can then be opened to the community or other creatives to help continue support those projects going forward. and it's nice to see those things coming out of that.
Yeah, it's so hard as like a creative, like I know with people creating physical products, like you said, they want to evolve and keep moving on. But you also have the production, like keeping something in stock, like I guess bear or things that use like chemicals or use materials for that you need refills for, right? Having that to constantly try and keep in stock, and that's why you have items go out of stock or get discontinued, and there's magicians out there like, what happened to that?
Yeah.
I perform that every day, and you're like, I know you're
can't get it anymore.
Yeah, there's a amount of times I have people come back to Murphy's and say, what happened to this trick? I'm like, it's been discontinued, I'm sorry. And like, it's up to the artist, unless someone else wants to create a different version of it and release it, then obviously chat to the original artist. But I think that comes, weirdly enough, in that same kind of process, that you can have 2.0 versions, 3.0 versions of card tricks and stuff. But weirdly, like apps and like iPhone magic or cell phone magic, you generally can't. You have to keep updating. It's this weird
same initial.
Yeah. Can you imagine having like a card trick and then going, well, every 3 years we send you that same gimmick for free and it's an upgraded version and has new things done? Yeah, imagine that. But yeah, the app stuff, it's this weird thing. It's a constant payout for the magician too, to like keep that updated, to keep it online, to keep like the new software, like the different operating systems, and then the different ideas you have to keep adding in for the thing.
Which is, again, is time and money and like all of these things that people don't think about when they're purchasing a product. Like an app, for example, they don't think about the dev time to change fixes with every iPhone update. They don't think about adding new stuff to it that takes somebody else the time to code it, to then implement it, to then get it to work for every type of device, every type of screen size, resolution. It's all of those things that people just think, yeah, but I've paid my 40 quid, so why aren't I getting this for the next like 70 years of my life?
Yeah, we get like apps that go down, like this app's always going down, and then people go, what happened? You're like, it's just kind of like your card gimmick getting just worn and torn after 10 years of it being rigorously used. You probably changed your phone 4 or 5 times during that as well. So it's a hard thing. It's a crazy industry to be involved in, but so exciting too to try and like navigate, because it's constantly evolving. Like again, you wouldn't have iPhone magic, 50 years ago. You try and like, it's this weird genre where everything is evolving, like the music industry and the TV industry and stuff. Having magic, try and keep up with that. But also have those, it's not just an app on your phone, is it? It's creating those magical moments.
Enough for it to be like deceptive, and you're almost fighting to stay ahead of technology. Because I think with the way that technology is growing nowadays, with the likes of see-through screens and like all of the crazy stuff that is coming out just in a general tech sense, for the most part, stuff that was happening 10 years ago, or methods that people had 10 years ago, where they were like, oh, it's just this really ridiculous concept. Whereas now, that really ridiculous concept is just a normal thing that we have in day-to-day life. You're almost fighting to stay ahead of the curve so that it's so far in advance that you don't just go, oh, well, yeah, but is it not just this?
I saw literally on Amazon for like Amazon Prime Day, they're like, hey, we've got this book that you can like a notepad you can just write on and it sends it straight to your phone. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's been a thing for donkey's years, the magicians using. But we've been ahead of that game, and now it's just catching up to limit. It's one of those things of like, how can we now evolve that process again? So someone's like, oh yeah, I just got that off Amazon last week for $2.99. Like,
it's gonna get to the point where it's just like, oh yeah, it's just that neural chip in your brain. That's how you did the trick.
But I love that about spectators too, that they can go on this crazy tangent of a method. Like I saw Penguin showing it the other day. They're like, they posted a video and people are like, oh yeah, the guy's just got a zipper in his hand. He's just loading the coins in his hand. I'm like, yeah. And everyone's like, yeah, 100%. That's exactly.
I mean, for the likes of Alan Rorison with magnets and NFCs and all sorts in his body, that is genuinely true. That is after the method. But like conceptually, it's wild.
Yeah, I can also imagine spectators going, that's absurd. Who would load an NFC tag into their skin and Rory? It's like, got him.
That's obviously not the method. That's ridiculous. Yep, certainly is.
Oh man.
It's such a cool and crazy sort of industry that we're in. And I'm excited to see where both the world as a whole and technology and all that stuff goes forward. But again, watching Magic adapt and evolve accordingly to combat that is really cool, because it means people are having to think more outside the box. They're having to think more creatively. And yeah, it's just really fun to see the mad stuff that comes out of that.
Mate, I think we are in a great time for Magic, for us to be pushed as creatives and the industry and the things, because there's so many good ideas out there and was working together to evolve Magic. You're already seeing it happen. Like, again, you're seeing 9 iterations of a torn and restored card come out, but every single time it's just, we know
a little bit better.
Yeah, just evolving it and growing on the ideas. And I think it's such a good time to see where technology and where the art takes us in the future.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the next 50 years.
There's also a detriment to that as well, in that I feel like a lot of people, especially when it comes to Magic releases, assume just because it's the newest and latest thing that it is the most evolved, most adapted, best version of that thing, which is almost always not correct.
No.
So I feel like there's sort of a fine balance there, in that, yes, things are being pushed forwards and creative things are happening, but at the same time, you don't want to fall into that like false sense of, okay, this has to be the best thing because it is version 4, or this is going to be the most examinable thing. This is going to be the best to perform, the most practical. There's still obviously limitations, and there's still different concepts and ideas that people take into account.
I said that the other night to my wife, because I was talking this, obviously with Murphy's and everything that comes out, the different iteration, there's always a drama behind it. And I was chatting to my wife about it. She goes, why do people do that then? Like, why create a different version? I said, it was kind of like, it was hard to describe to her. And I was kind of like, this is kind of like an original song. Then you have people doing like covers of it, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has their own cover, different versions and variations of it. And while you think, hey, cool, I don't want to listen to the classic song of it, or the heavy metal version of the song. I want to listen to the classic. Still, the original could still be the best version for you.
Yeah.
You got to take everything that you kind of, these different versions people are listening to, and kind of find what works for you. And the same way it does with like Magic releases. The original could be the perfect thing for you. You got to look at what, again, I said torn and restored, but just go back to that. Look at different torn and restoreds, and they all kind of go around the same premise. See which one works for you, work your way back, and then the newest version might have something that was the best version for this, or the one previous that someone else has done could have the gimmick that you needed. You might have wanted magnets, you might have wanted thread, you might have, you could have, hey, you could have wanted to do 100% slots and you want to practice, and and that could have been 3 versions earlier. So,
and I think that's another thing that you guys at Murphy's deserve praise for, in that the content that you're creating, especially when it comes to like the what's new this week stuff, you are obviously trying to sell the product, but at the same time, you're giving everybody enough detail to know, okay, this is perfect for beginners, it's perfect for these angles, it's good for this scenario, so that they know conceptually going into it whether it's going to be right for them.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's the potential to spend an awful lot of money in Magic to get an awful lot of stuff that you will never perform.
Yeah.
So I think there's something great that you guys are doing, in that it helps people make those informed decisions before they go into buying a variety of different things, because it can end up super expensive.
I've had this conversation with Austin a couple of times, because Stumped is like, it's a review show without being a review show.
Yeah.
I don't want it to ever be a review show, because I think reviews are like, you're trying to sell it.
Yeah.
And I don't want Murphy's social, like that thing to be, hey, go out and buy this trick. The reason I've had chats with Austin is because there's like people have left comments like, thank you so much, you've just saved me $200. I've not gone out there. I'm like, I'm going in, like, I try to be I get excited by a product.
Yeah.
But I also try and leave that at the door. Sometimes I'm like, this is super visual. But I also say, sometimes I get the artist messaging going, you're trying to sell this. Why are you trying to like say the bad thing? I'm like, I'm trying to give everything for this. Like, hey, this isn't 100% examinable. You will need to switch this out. People go, well, I don't want to switch it. I'm like, okay, fine. But there's going to be people that go, oh, I can switch it. Fine.
Yeah.
So I try and do that, and there's like times where Austin's coming, like he's like, we're getting this person coming to us and saying you're not promoting it properly. I'm like, I'm trying to be informative as I can, but not be openly, not be biased and say, oh yeah, this is the best thing, go buy it right now. And people going,
which is the best way to do it though, because that creates that sort of resonance with the person that you can trust.
Yeah,
the information that's going out. Like the amount of products over the years that I've bought that have promised so many different things.
Yeah.
And then you get it and you look at it and you go, this doesn't fit half of the stuff that you've said it does. Like there's some phenomenal trailers out there that show the most ridiculous thing, and then you look at the actual end release and you go, hold on a second, I feel a bit cheated here.
Yeah.
So in doing what you guys are doing, it creates that trust with the Magic community to know that they are getting what works for them as opposed to getting what works for everyone.
Yeah, I think that's why Austin and I is coming back. Austin keeps chatting to me because he's like, he gets that person and he comes back and just passes it on that they might not be happy, but he tells them like, this is the best for your effect, because Beau doesn't just want to like, I try not to, again, constructive criticism. I say like, this isn't 100% examinable. You will need, I give them, you need to switch this, or if you want this to perform it surrounded, I give them like alternate things that you could do. And again, it's trying not to sell the effect. I'm trying to like solve an issue that someone might watch and go, oh, this is bad. Yeah. So
which again then helps those people make more of an informed decision, and they could still end up buying that, even if initially they went, this isn't for me, but then they can watch your video and they go, you know what, it wasn't for me, but now Beau's mentioned this thing that I could do to adapt it accordingly.
Yeah.
Now I will go forward and I will buy it, and then it leads to more informed.
Yeah.
Stuff in their magic drawer.
Because if you imagine if one day I was like, this trick's 100% examinable, and the next episode I'm like, this isn't, I'm just going to cut that segment out because I'm like, it can't be examined.
Yeah.
People are like, why did you cut that out? So pretty much every episode has a format which I literally just follow religiously. Also to help with me with time, with the effect, and I can literally watch the whole trailer and then fill in those blanks.
Yeah.
But it also creates, I know a lot of times I watch the stats at the end or after a couple of weeks that we've been out, and I find it really cool back end wise to see what magicians find, what they really want to know about that effect.
Yeah.
Like what I really get excited about in a piece of magic, I'll go back and look at the stats and I look at where people have stopped in the timeline to watch. Yeah. Some people might not be don't care if it's examinable. They might want to care about if what gimmicks are involved in the product itself, and how long the tutorial is and what you actually learn. So watching just the tutorial explanation part of it. Yeah. People get excited.
Again, one of the things, even with this podcast, it's why I try and put sort of the framework of the interview into the comment section or into the description so that people can look at it and go, okay, I wouldn't necessarily normally listen to this person, or I'm not particularly interested in this thing that they're talking about, but I am interested in that specific question. And then they can go into that question, they can watch that section, they can be like, okay, this is cool, and then they might come back and watch the rest of it. But as you say...
But I was going to say, sorry for this, by the way, because I know what it's like with Murphy's doing the contents and the chapters. This conversation's been a ride, so I'm so sorry for you.
It's all right. We'll figure it out.
Well, yeah, watch for what you don't like about magic. Watch from 1 minute to 1 minute 30, and 3 minutes to 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be like overlapping in the sections. You know what? I might just put in the timestamps, the 5-second clip where we're just like, screw everyone.
Yeah, that's it. Just cut all that out. Just put it all together. Oh, man.
That one thing. That's summed it up.
I hate magic. That's it. Thanks for joining us, guys.
See you in the next episode. We have one final segment to round this all off. It's been an absolutely phenomenal conversation, and we're going to go into a segment that is essentially a question deck, which is 52 cards. They're completely random questions that range from magic-related stuff to prolific life questions to the most random thing you would ever be asked and probably not expect on a podcast like this. So, obviously, the cards have been shuffled meticulously throughout. I mean, if my In the Hands riffle was that good, like falsified, I'd be Very happy with it.
Yeah, just ripple down and say stop anytime.
Yeah, just call out stop anytime you want.
Yeah.
There's no, genuinely no breaks, no funny business. This could be absolutely anything. You don't know what's going to come up. I don't know what's going to come up, and hopefully it creates for a fun question. So
stop. Just stop. I stop.
What hobbies do you have outside of Magic? I'm also going to add on to this. How does that then influence your Magic?
Okay. Dude, there's what hobbies I have outside of Magic. I love
time.
Yeah. No, so there's two things that I love outside of Magic that I have a big weakness for. First one's Minecraft. I love Minecraft. I literally, my computer's back there. Every time I knock off at night, my favorite thing is to sit at that desk and just Minecraft at there. I have this crazy world. I guess it kind of influences my Magic. I love going, hey, I want to build a farm for something in Minecraft. I want to build this crazy thing. How am I going to do that? And then I have to spend hours making this thing into what I want.
The redstone contraptions.
Dude,
and all of
yeah. It just, and then at the end, like push that button and I'm watching the farm work. And I'm like, oh, look what I've done. All right, on to the next one. And that process, I love that. I love the creativity of Minecraft. Like anything is possible. Whenever someone goes, Minecraft, isn't that for like 8-year-old kids? I'm like, but anything is impossible. Like you can
amount of somebody recreated the entirety of ChatGPT within Minecraft, but not like as a concept. They took every single bit of data and programmed it accordingly into Minecraft. It's just absurd.
It's insane that the thing that like people created computers. People have created like I've seen people create text messages. Like someone will like write on a screen and it'll appear on this massive Minecraft wall, and it'll get transported across the world.
Yeah.
In Minecraft and come back. People have created like 1-to-1 scales of New York City. Like it's just mind blowing what people can do. And again, comes down to communities working together, but also just the creativity process. I love that. And then the second thing is, you've probably seen it on the side here. I love Pokemon. I've never stopped loving Pokemon. Again, I probably came from when I played it in computers. Look, I've got like Pokemon lights there, like, and then like the Gengar back here. I love Pokemon. There's literally cards everywhere, right? So it's just one of these things is like, I love the nostalgia of Pokemon, but I also love the cards. Like I love the games, but the cards are what really excites me. Like, whether that's the Magic aspect of it, I find myself
artwork's stunning, man.
Yeah, the artwork. Oh, I've got cards around here that I'm just like I'm in love with, but just like, oh man, this is gonna be I just literally there's Pokemon everywhere. There's Pokemon just off screen everywhere here. But that also comes into, there's so many times that I try and create gimmicks and ideas with Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Oh man, Pokemonty is one of the effects that I perform when I go to like card days.
Yeah.
And I have, the Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and the Pikachu on me at all times, ready to perform.
Yeah.
Because that is one of again, it's a piece of magic that I can do with Pokemon, and it hits with the magicians, because every magician has had that idea of which starting Pokemon do you want.
Yeah.
And then I can now incorporate magic into it. It's one of my favorite pieces of magic to perform when I'm at, card days. So
it brings a relatable nature to your Magic as well, because even somebody that doesn't understand Monty as a concept, if you went to somebody who is big into Pokemon and just brought them this concept, they can then understand it from a Pokemon or a card game perspective more so than the Magic perspective, and they can still appreciate that as a whole effect because of that.
It has that connection with them because they love Pokemon and they could be excited by the magic trick, but again, that idea of that nostalgia of like, hey, I have wanted to, who do I choose? Charmander, Squirtle, or Bulbasaur?
Yeah.
And then now adapting it into a thing, it's just so clever. I love it. And I'm constantly trying to think of ideas to build into tricks with Pokemon cards, but the annoying part is so many of them are so expensive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't cut this card up and build a flap into it. Like, I
also think the community would kill you for doing that.
There's people out there that build like intricate 3D artworks, and they'll get like a card
stunning, like 30 cards stacked. They look absolutely unbelievable.
But they'll do it with cards that are worth like 300 quid. I'm like, okay. So I can imagine me going, I'm like, hey, you imagine building a flap out of like a Pokemon card, and then the industry.
PSA 10 Charizard.
Yeah.
But no problem.
And then it's just like this. Because you get some threads and magnets.
Yeah, there would be death threats at that point, I think.
Yeah. The thing is, I find it's so funny because I was talking about Magic and some like angry people in the Magic industry. Same with Pokemon cards. Like you start destroying a card, or they come after you. Yeah. So
there's also some incredibly nice people in the trading card game industry as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of my TikTok feed at the minute is the guys at Pokemon and card conventions just giving out like starter packs and binders to kids.
Yeah.
Or like people that have lost their stuff, and it's so nice to see. It's such a heartwarming reminder that there are some nice people in this world.
Oh, 100%. There was a thing I saw the other day. A guy had posted that he was like his old Pokemon collection. He didn't realize he had a leak in a roof. He went away on holiday, come back, and it leaked and all got his cards all destroyed. And everyone went through their like sets and like gave him like bulk or had like sealed product and sent it back to him. And like the community came back, and it was just so good that people went like, well, this is a 400-pound card, and people like, this guy, it meant a lot to him.
Yeah, they look past that. Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's selling it on eBay, like, got him, suckers. No, it's good.
Well, you're always going to have those two types of people within whatever sort of industry.
Oh, mate, I've been scammed with Pokemon cards. It's been silly, but the police are involved. But it comes down to like, you're no matter which industry you're going to get into, you're going to get toxic people, but you're also going to get people that are passionate about it as much as you are. And then just like, I've got a guy that when I first got into like wanting to play, I've never played Pokemon before. I've just been a collector.
Yeah.
And the local card shop's like, we don't sell unless you play. And I was like, I don't play. And then this guy was like, I can teach you. This random guy is like, come around. And he's now like this great guy that I just chat to about Pokemon. He has no interest in collecting. He just loves playing.
Yeah.
But every now I'm like, I've got this card. He's like, oh, team it up with this one and add this. And you got a powerhouse deck. And I'm like, yay.
Yeah. I still remember Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a big thing back when I was younger. I more so got into Yu-Gi-Oh! Than Pokemon, and obviously now it's come back around to be this massive thing. But yeah, the premise of actually playing the game, I feel like a lot of people don't even realize that you can play a game with Pokemon cards. They're not just collector's items. They're not just something that you keep and they're cool and they cost a lot of money. Like you can actively and very strategically build decks and play it accordingly. Like you watch some of the championship games and things like that, especially in like Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff, where you're just like, wow, this guy has thought through every minute detail of exactly how his deck's built. Like this card matches this one adds to this one. Like, the time, effort, and again, as you say, the passion that goes into it.
The strategy that they think about for every little detail. Like when I go to the play days, I'm like, well, like this looks like fun. I'm always the first out. Like I don't, but I'm just there because I like watching this guy that like thinks about every little detail, and he's watching what you're doing, and he's in his mind, he's like, it's like chess. He's constantly going, okay, well, I've got this in my
calculated.
Deck. Yeah,
like I know you're probably going to play this, therefore I have this as a defense for that. Like people are building decks in advance with already tactics in place for stuff that's not even happened yet. As like ready to go. Like it's absurd the level of detail that goes into those kind of things, and again, it goes unnoticed. It goes unnoticed, and then it all goes out the window. My passion and respect for him when I see him pull out a 400-pound card and just riffle shuffle it in and ding up the edges, and I'm like but no, I love it. Those are the two passions I love. Like literally around this whole room is just literally like Pokemon gaming stuff. Like I've got Minecraft toys, and then like Pokemon cards. It's Magic Pokemon. Just a big nerd room this room is. It's so good. I think that's the case for a lot of magicians. I think you don't really get into this industry unless you are in the nerd culture. In some respect. Whether it's cards or whether it's Pokemon or whether it's video games, like everybody has.
We're all nerds. and I love it. I love it. So,
but again, it shows in the passion, it shows in the drive, and that's what drives the community forwards, is everybody's nerdiness and everybody's passion towards the industry.
yeah,
And without it, we wouldn't be anywhere near as far as we are.
we wouldn't be rock stars without it.
Rock stars,
rock stars.
But that has brought us to a lovely little close there. A very nice way to end it. We've got two final questions, one of which is, what are your plans for the future? Do you have anything that you're working on at current? Do you have anything you could tease us with? Maybe we're going to see some stuff from Beau? Or is it a lot of consultancy stuff, a lot of Murphy's things?
I've got some more consultancy stuff. I have like a couple of meetings today on more consultancy stuff. But like,
can't disclose those NDAs.
NDAs, baby. That's all you get. Hey, I've got something cool in the works, and that's all I'm gonna say.
I'm not telling you.
No, I've got some more consultancy stuff with a couple of different magicians. But I also have some releases. I haven't released anything in a while. I got the itch not too long back, and I've got these ideas that I've just like, again, I've been sitting on. Some of them have been ready to go. And it comes down to like production and how am I going to produce this, and I don't want to sit there and make 500 card gimmicks. Like, it's going to be so hard for me to, like, in the time that I have. So there are things that I'm working with a whole bunch. I think I've got like six tricks that I can think of right now that I'm working on. Yeah. So, but some are like, I think some are still like really old production. Some of them I'm actually producing myself, and some of them are like also not magic tricks. They're kind of like talking points, or for like your copy table.
Yeah.
I like the idea of, again, creating magic is not just a trick. It's a moment. Yeah, it's a talking piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a couple of pieces. Like, I don't know if it's exciting to anyone, but I love infinity mirrors.
Yeah.
And I'm building one into like a deck of cards. So you can have like you can customize it to any deck you like. You can have it on your display behind you. You can have it on your copy table, but it's just it's an infinity deck. Or and then I want to create a magical. I know magicians are like, oh, I want a trick built into it. So I'm working on an idea and a routine that's going to have like a Pepper's Ghost built into it. So you can now have like a card reveal or something built into it. So you like look into the mirror and lose yourself and think of your card, and you kind of like see this card appear in like a Pepper's Ghost style illusion in an deck. So that's kind of what I'm working on. For one thing I want to tease, but then also I mentioned it earlier, it's not low key. It's a new app coming out, but it's gonna, I guess, it's kind of like a Beau Cremer's greatest hits of apps. It's gonna have like iTime Rewind built into it, low key built into it. It's got a new idea that
spend money, Beau.
Spend it all, baby. But it's gonna there's gonna be like a bunch of things built into this one app that I've wanted to build, and then other ideas that I've come up with that I can build into this app. So that's currently in the works.
Do you have any sort of timescales for these 6 releases? Is it something that we're going to see over the next month? Something we're going to see over the next 5 years?
So just for
obviously without giving specific dates and things.
Yeah, this time next Tuesday. The mirror deck is literally I'm getting prototypes made up in China right now, because I have to get like obviously all manufactured and stuff, and that's something I'm doing myself. So that's gonna take a while, I guess, because it's again on my own time.
Yeah.
But the app is already in, like, it's already getting worked on. It's already getting created. I've already had some prototypes sent over, like testing and stuff. So it should be. Obviously, Javier will be shooting a trailer and tutorial, so I'm going to put the pressure on him to have it out by next Friday. But I think it's going to be relatively soon. I think that's the plan.
I'm excited.
Yeah, there's going to be something.
I missed out on Loki, and I was like, oh, God, it's such a cool concept. So the year it's coming back is exciting, man. Yeah,
well, that was an interesting idea, because I set up confabulation routines, and that was an idea that was, again, wasn't viable or wasn't you couldn't do it at the time.
Yeah.
And I had to think of a method, which again, iTime Rewind, I wanted the effect of time rewinding, but I didn't have apps. I didn't have $5,000 to spend on an app developer.
Yeah.
So I was like, how can I make the magic happen without that? So it was like, video? Spoiler alert, that's the method. But when it's built into this new version, it's going to be a lot more. before you had to force the time and everything. This time it's going to be 100% free choice. So,
what a tease. What a tease.
What a tease, baby. But low-key will be coming out again because that stopped. Again, it's just the upkeep of the app. It's just obviously things start to teeter off when sales start to like, it's been out for, low-key has been out for like 6 years. So obviously sales start to go up, but the upkeep of keeping the app updated and stuff just costs money. So just, again, you have to think of that. So I originally gave over all the rights to low-key to the developer because I was like, I felt bad that I came up with the idea and the poor guy built the thing and had to do the upkeep. And then he, I'm like getting all the profits. I'm like, thanks, guy. But I felt so bad that Tagul was putting all this up. So I'm like, you can just, every sale that you make just goes straight to you. I don't want any of it. So that's the way I wanted low-key to kind of run at the end because I don't want him to be literally, because I felt bad that I'm taking the profits and he's doing all the work after the fact. So
why are you such a nice guy, man?
No, I'm just trying to say, I think that's why like we're doing a renew low-key because I can understand why Tagul kind of like had to take it down. It's been years since that app's been up. So again, you don't see guys sending out these card gimmicks to everyone every year to like make sure they have the brand new unbroken card gimmick. So I can see why. So that's coming out and that should be relatively soon, I guess. George is probably going to watch this and go, why are you telling people about this?
Undefined timescale.
Yes. Within
soon.
Within within a year, I think. Definitely. I'm just going to say that because it could be 2 months.
December 2026.
Yeah.
Excellent. And the final question is, where can our listeners find you? Whether it be yourself, whether it be Murphy's socials, where can we keep up to date with what both you're doing and obviously the incredible things that you're doing elsewhere?
Okay, so the best way to contact me, and I say this to my family now too, if you want to talk to me, don't message me privately because I'm never on my own socials. My phone, my computer, everything is logged into Murphy's because I want to be there if someone needs me for something. So I'll try and respond generally within like 15 minutes of you like messaging because I want to be available. So if you message me on my own privates, I've had people message me go, I haven't heard from you in like 2 months. And I'm like, oh, because you've messaged me on my own personal Instagram. So Murphy's, contact me there if you want to talk. But if you want to like see what I'm up to, I'm generally commenting on Murphy's socials as well for like links and stuff. So just click in through there and you can check out what I'm doing. But my own personal stuff's like either Hillary Duff memes or Minecraft and Pokemon, or sometimes the family if I could squeeze them in.
Yeah.
But
if they could have their space.
Yeah, if they've got a Minecraft meme, they're involved on my socials. But no, that's generally if you want. And if you really want to see like all my Pokemon socials and stuff, just hit me up and I'll send you links. But if you really me opening packs and getting excited about the cards I pull.
That sounds exciting to me. I don't know about anybody else, so hell yeah. Well, it's been an absolutely phenomenal conversation. And again, as I mentioned earlier on in the episode, time is invaluable to absolutely everyone. So thank you again so much for dedicating the time to just sit down and speak to me. Obviously, I can tell you're incredibly passionate both about Magic and obviously Pokemon. So it's been a wonderful conversation. And again, the advice and the stories and the knowledge that you've passed on through this as well has been invaluable too. So
thank you very much. So. I think I just ramble, so I hope I got some coherent
This is
thoughts.
Exactly how I feel putting this together. I'm like, I am so out of my depth and I feel like I'm just chatting shit. Hopefully it turns out okay.
If this out of this, what, like 9 hours we've been talking, if you can get 30 seconds of a little nugget or something, I'm happy.
If you've gotten this far in the episode, well done.
Yeah, send me your bank details. I'll transfer you 20p. Don't do that because I'm gonna be like, someone's gonna timestamp that and just mess it out.
I'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, that's it.
It's been absolutely incredible. If you guys at home have enjoyed it, please do let us know. Leave a 5-star review if you're on Apple or Spotify. If you're on YouTube, let us know in the comments. What did you take away from this episode? What are you working on? What are you looking to do? What's your best Pokemon pull? Let us know. We want to see it. We want to hear it. And if we don't see you in the meantime, we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.